that bad?
I don't know. There'd be one way just to check.
Please excuse our technical difficulties.
It's here. Yeah, we changed our setup here.
We also don't know if we're actually streaming it or not.
Yes.
I assume no one's watching it, so it doesn't matter too much.
It says 0 viewers, but we do. Burlyman Gaming. We're professional.
Yes, we're very professional. Are you going on Twitch on your phone to see if it's actually streaming this?
Yeah, because I'm a follower of our thing. So I can...
Following yourself.
Well, I use this for testing purposes.
I understand.
Oh. This is weird line.
Is it working?
I'm getting a Twitch ad first, so...
Do. This is when you wish you had editing software if you ever decide to upload this to YouTube.
Oh, I have editing software. It's just a pain in the butt to use.
Hmm.
I do not have the time. Oh no, it's showing it. So.
Oh, so we've been streaming this whole time. Excellent. Well then, hello everybody. This is Mike for Burlyman Gaming here with Tyler.
Hi.
And we're gonna play Magic: The Gathering Arena because apparently Lou wants. Oh, we have the TV volume up.
Let's do that.
So, anyways, apparently Lou wants me to stream by myself. So
hey,
I'm doing this.
He offered if you want.
Yeah, why not? This seems like a good game, popular right now. So we're gonna try playing Magic Arena.
And I've played a little bit of Magic a few years ago. I was playing for a few years with Mike, and Mike knows the game a lot better than I do.
Yeah. Anyways, so here we are in Arena. We're gonna do Greedy Draft. What's Greedy Draft? We get to, like a standard draft, you open up packs, take a card, pass the pack along. But in this mode, we get to have 9 cards in our opening hand and play 2 lands a turn.
Ooh, that's fun. 9 cards in the hand, 2 lands per turn.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hey, look, a stomping ground. Anyways, if you've ever drafted before, generally speaking, you get to keep all the cards that you pick. So, you know, if you want value, you would take this stomping ground here, because then you get to add it to your collection. Mm-hmm. But since I don't really play Constructed, I think I'm probably going to take a good card instead.
Okay.
What I've found in this format, I haven't played a lot of it, but you would think that expensive cards would be good, but I find it's more so cards that give you mana sinks are good. So you want cards that let you use your excess mana. Nothing super exciting in this pack.
Drafting, I like doing, but I just sucked at it.
It takes a lot of time, and it like changes with every format.
Yeah.
So in this particular format, this is also quite a bit different. I like playing Gruul, red-green, because there's a lot of creatures that just let you put mana into them. Along that same lines, Simic, green-blue, is also really good. This card's pretty strong. 2/3 flyer for 3. It adapts for 4 mana to get +1/+1. A counter +1/+1.
Ooh.
And it's in a good set of colors. But then there's also this guy, who also has a adaptability. Gives our creatures with +1/+1 counters flying.
Ooh, that's handy.
I don't like this card as much in normal, because it's kind of hard to get to 6 mana to use the adaptability, but we get to play 2 lands a turn. I think I'm going to pick this guy.
Okay.
Going with Skatewing Spy. Ooh. And I'm already happy that I did, because this is one of my favorite cards in this format altogether. 4 mana, 2/4 with flying. Gives your other creatures with flying an extra toughness. So that's really nice. 3 mana, return a creature to your opponent's hand. Always nice. If you cast it during your turn, during your main phase, you get to also draw a card. But as I said, I think this card's just universally really good, so we're going to take this.
Take it off the board.
Yeah. One thing that's different about drafting here is you're not actually live drafting against other people. You're, I don't know if a computer is what picks the cards beforehand, or if it's, like, other people that have seen this pack, took in a card, and then it goes into, like, a database to hold for later. I think it's a computer that picks them. But either way, it means you have as much time as you want for your picks.
Oh, they brought back the dual card.
Which card?
There's 2 cards.
Oh, split cards.
Split cards.
Yeah. Anyways, once again, nothing super exciting in this pack. Bring to Trial seems like it's fine. Kill a creature with 4 power or greater. It's a format that you're probably going to get big creatures a lot. Terramander's interesting. Adapts for 4 for 8 mana, but you need a bunch of if you have an instants or sorceries, it's cheaper. I don't know how good a 1 mana 1/1 flyer would be in this kind of format, but it doesn't seem horrible. I think we're going to take the removal spell here. Generally speaking, you don't have to stay into your 2 colors that you pick immediately, but it seems to be what's working out for me. Normally in this pack, I really like Final Payment here. Pay 5 life or sack a creature to destroy one of their creatures for only 2 mana is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But we've picked 2 good white cards and a good blue card, because apparently I can't speak today. And there's also a really good blue card here in the Skitter Eel, which synergizes really well with Skatewing Spy.
Is the adapt the same thing on that one? It's going to give 1/1 and
so,
fly?
So what adapt is if your creature doesn't have any +1/+1 counters on it, you pay the mana and you put however many +1/+1 counters on it. So this is adapt 2, so you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So this is 4 mana 3/3, and then you pay 3 mana to give it 2 +1/+1 counters.
Okay.
And as I said, it goes really well with the Spy here, because even if this card's not adapted, if this is on the board and this has counters, it gets to fly. A 5/5 flyer is pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to pick it. What's next? High Alert. This is a card that's really weird, but I've seen a friend of mine's really high on it, and it also has a mana sink ability. So each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness instead of power. And if you have creatures with Defender, they can attack as though they didn't have Defender. But the real interesting in this format is the 4 mana untap a creature. So it basically gives all your dudes Vigilance. And this is a format where you can definitely use the mana. Seer Slimebind's also pretty good as just a generic removal spell. I think we're going to go for the high value card.
Ooh.
So this it definitely encourages us to pick creatures with more toughness than power. So far, like, obviously we got no white cards here, which is a bad sign. Couple of a medium green card here. We do have some blue cards. Persistent Petitioner actually looks kind of exciting. This is a really neat card. I tried drafting this deck last time. You can have as many Persistent Petitioners as you want in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
And if you tap 4 of them, you get to mill 12. So it's kind of funny, but like the more interesting part about it in this deck is that I have the High Alert, so it attacks as a 3/3. But there's also this here Fairy Duelist, which is a good combat trick on top of being a flyer. And it also is okay with High Alert, so we're going to take the card with the better floor, the higher floor. This is getting unexciting. I'm not seeing good white cards, which is not a good sign. We might have to pivot and pick up some green cards after this. Shimmer Possibility is interesting. Look at top 4. Put one of them into your hand. So it's a good way to find gas later on. The Lockets here are cards I'm not really super high on normally, but this is a format where you both want something to do with your mana and a way to draw extra cards. And this does both of those. So I think we're going to take the Locket.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, no.
Lockets.
Both of these cards are really good in the High Alert deck. This is 1/3 with Defender. You can sack it, give one of your creatures indestructible for a turn.
Ooh.
And then it's also a 1/3 that can attack when you have High Alert, so it's neat. But this is also a 1/4 that if you have High Alert, gets to attack as a 4/4 flyer and can have Vigilance on its own. This card is probably just like the best card you can have if you're in High Alert deck, so we're going to take it.
I was going to say. That's neat for the dog creature, though. For
yeah, it's
1 mana, cool. Like
it's an interesting card. I think a lot of people undervalue it, but it's always unfortunate when you have 2 cards that you want in a pack, and then you come to the next one and there's nothing interesting. 1 mana +2/+2. You always want to have a decent number of tricks, and this is a fine trick that can also push damage through if you cast it on your turn. Give a dude flying, so. Ooh, that's a later Rester's Admonition. Another decent trick to have with some utility. I completely missed that there was also Guildgate in that deck, in that pack, but whatever. Take bad card that we can cast, I guess. This is a card that I'm not super high on. 3/1 is a bad stat line. Lifelink's good, but not good enough. It's also really bad with High Alert, because then it's just attacking as a 1/1. Here we got absolutely nothing. In this case, I tend to just... Oh, wait, this is a Wilderness Reclamation. This card is constructed playable, and it's also the uncommon. It's good to try to collect cards for your set.
Yeah.
Once again, we get blanks. I'm going to take this Rakdos Trumpeter, because it's probably the best card in the pack. I think this is a card that also gets a lot better in this format.
Okay, so you're throwing that sideboard?
Yeah, well, we're not going to use it, but it's like...
Take it, might as well.
Yeah, damn. I'm disappointed that there's another Azorius Locket here. I don't really want to play two of them, but we might. Oh, Rewarded. It's one of the best cards in the set.
What makes it so good?
So, the right half is a really, really good card. 5 mana, make a 4/4 white and blue creature with flying and vigilance. Anyone who's played a lot of Magic knows that that is Sarah Angel, who is always an all-star in Limited. But on top of this, it also has the left half. But on top of the very good right half, the left half is also a removal spell. Put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library. It's not a perfect removal spell, but it's just extra utility on an already good card. This is an amazing reward. So we're going to snap that up. There was a ton of good cards in that pack for us, but obviously we're not going to take them. Take the bomb, and be happy about it, and then be very disappointed with this pack. I think Quench is, like, not a terrible card normally, but counter target spell, unless its controller plays 2, seems a lot worse in a format where people get to play 2 lands a turn.
That's been a card before, right?
It used to be Mana Leak. It would be counter spell unless its controller plays 3.
Okay.
This is obvious. Mana Leak was a card that caused a lot of problems in Standard before, so they don't want to ever reprint it.
I've not played a lot of Standard. I've played a lot of Modern.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, like, I'm not super high on this card. I don't think this is an amazing card. The only other card in our colors is this Sphinx's Insight, which is not great. But, like, I don't like 4 mana draw 2 cards in this format, but once again, we get more mana faster, and it's easy to run out of cards, so...
Having the ability to draw something.
Yeah.
That could potentially...
Ooh. Ding, Law Mage's Binding. Definitely the best common for our deck. Just a simple 3 mana flash, so you can cast it during your opponent's turn, and it arrests a creature, which can attack or block or activate abilities.
Flash came back during, was it the Innistrad block?
No, that was Flash back, which is you can cast it from the graveyard. Flash has always just been around. You don't see it too often.
Yeah.
But it's in this format quite a bit because of the Azorius mechanic of Addendum, which when you cast it during your turn, you get to get an extra bonus.
Okay.
But anyways, as I said, this is probably the best card we could see for our deck right now, that we're likely to see, so we'll take it. Bunch of unexciting white cards. This is a fine removal spell. Give a creature Defender, and it loses flying. So basically, like, you can just take out your opponent's best creature that can't attack anymore, and if it's a flyer, you get to attack in better.
Yeah.
But we have a bunch of spells. This card is not super exciting. 2/5 with Hexproof on 5, but it goes really well with High Alert, and it also just gums up the board and comes out a lot faster, so I think we're going to take it.
At least it can't be target spell, so...
Yeah. Exposed to Daylight... Oh, God. Why is there multiple good cards? Oh, even a Gate. Like, this is the worst part about drafting, is when there are 4 cards in this pack that I want.
I'll select these 4 and pick nothing else.
Yeah, like, I would gladly take these 4 cards and not take a card out of the next 4 packs, but that's not how that works. Exposed to Daylight is a card that you kind of want. Actually, this is a best of 1 format, and there are enchantments you can just lose to in this format. I think we're going to take it just to have the ability to not randomly lose. Normally, I wouldn't play this card. Destroy artifact or enchantment. Sometimes your opponent just doesn't have any.
What's the scry one? I can't remember.
Look at the top card of your library. You can either put it back or put it on the bottom. So it's just helps filter your draws. But as I said, normally I wouldn't play this card, but since we don't have access to sideboards, we don't want to just randomly lose to some of the broken enchantments in the set. Second Petitioner, but we didn't pick the first one, so don't really care. Summary Judgment's nice, just a nice generic removal spell. Always good to have ways to kill your opponent's creatures.
Yeah.
We're low on creatures, actually. Should pay attention to that. No good creatures in this pack. Take another Admonition, which is decent. But then we also have this Sentinel's Mark. It's a decent enchantment that can help you win races. Do you have one of your flyers? Vigilance is nice.
Ooh.
I think we're gonna take the interactive spell though. Like between High Alert and just already having good flyers. Like we have a bunch of we don't have great flyers.
I do like that as you're hovering over the cards here, it is giving you what abilities they have.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the little bit of extra reminder as to what.
For someone like me who hasn't really played the game in a couple of years, it's nice if I wanted to quickly jump in. I don't have to, oh no, what is this ability? I gotta Google it or look online.
Oh, that disappoints me. When you take a worse card because you just want to shore up a weakness in your deck and then it comes around. I should have thought of that because Exposed at Daylight's a card that's likely to go around. Yeah. 0/6 combos really well with our High Alert. Prying Eyes is not a great card, but once again, having a way to draw extra cards in this format seems good. Yeah. I think we're going to take it. But now we're desperately low on creatures. Hey, look, we found the Quench.
Oh, there was a land one.
Medium creature, we'll take it. So I like playing 18 lands in this format right now because you want to make sure you get up to like 6 lands on turn 3. Okay. Normally I would play 17 lands, and of course I forgot the fact that there's a land in here. So like one thing I like is you can see exactly how many cards are in your deck. Okay. So 22 out of 40, but one of them's a land, so I need one more playable card. So this puts us at 22 cards. So now we have a deck. So any card we pick from here, we need to cut something.
They're on the sideboard.
Yeah, well at this point we're just... I definitely don't want to play 3 Lockets. Don't want to play Vizcopa Vampire. I don't like that card at all. Yeah. Rare land that I don't really care about. Code of Constraint. This is a card that a lot of people have told me is very good. Azorius Night Arbiter, though. We need creatures. I also like this Syndicate Messenger. Ooh, this is a rough pick. We're going to cut a Locket, because I don't want to play 2 of them. Oh, no, we want to cut Quench. Ah, well, I'm sure we'll get another playable card. I think we take... Oh, this is rough. I'm going to take the Arbiter. It's a little bit more powerful, especially if we get High Alert going.
Okay.
Another pack with a bunch of exciting cards in here. Rare that, Oh, it's a Mythic. I'm never going to play this card in Constructed, so I don't really care to pick it here. Could splash it, but I don't think that card's that amazing in Limited. Definitely don't want a second Exposed Daylight. But we have Slimebind here as another removal spell. But I believe I was saying we don't have enough creatures. We have got one removal spell. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 interactive spells plus 2 tricks. I think we're good. I think we're fine if we take the Senate Griffin here. Okay. I also want the land, but this card's also just really good. Nice.
Well, you're saying we're low on creatures.
Yeah, we're not too much anymore. I gotta stop assuming things.
See, I'm used to playing with mostly creatures and then just spells just for killing things that were in my creature's way.
Well, that's pretty much what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, for the people watching this on, I used to play goblins, so it was throw as many goblins as I could, and then just lightning bolt or grenade to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the Sphinx's Insight here. Probably the worst card in the deck right now. It's not bad, but like with the Prying Eyes and the Locket, we don't really need as many mana sinks.
Okay.
It's just a matter of do I want a 2-mana 1/3 that can become a 3/3, or do I want another bounce spell? We have a bunch of spells, but like not a lot of it. I'm gonna take this card. I might be too high on this card, but nothing exciting here. This is a pretty big trick that can blow people out. +1,
Yeah.
+3. It's just like it combos really well with High Alert to just randomly kill people, so it's probably what I want to take here. Anything I don't want to play? Not really. Maybe the Locket. Maybe the third rest. How many creatures do I actually have? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I need the creature. Take another huge... I don't want to play 2 huge Monculus. I'm going to cut one of these. Be very disappointed that I just picked it last. Take the powerful trick.
Okay.
Oh, God. So many cards that we want. I think it's got to be the Persistent Petitioner here, just to have another creature. Ooh, nice. We found a Syndicate Messenger. Just a nice, juicy flyer.
What's the Afterlife one?
So when it dies, you get a number of 1/1 Spirit tokens equal to the number of Afterlife.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like War Marshal.
Yeah, well, War Marshal is more of a different ability, but like this is a fairly common ability. This is the first time it's been keyworded.
Okay.
A bunch of cards I really want in that pack, but I'm gonna take the early drop. I should not forget that I'm playing a format where I get to play extra lands every turn.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's too late now. Nothing we want in this pack. I'm just gonna take the uncommon.
Okay.
Doesn't matter too huge. Slime Bind. We're gonna have to trim this up once we get to that point.
Yeah.
I have to really put a lot of thought
into what you want for main and what you want on the side.
Well, it's best of 1, so we don't get to have a sideboard.
Okay.
Yay for picking up a bunch of cards near the end that we might actually play. Not gonna play 2 Explosive Daylight though. Hey, look, we got some Vault progress. That was super unexciting. Anyway, that's not what this is what I was looking for. Change deck layout. So this way we can see where we're... Oh. So they have us at 19 lands with 46 cards. I think I want to play 18. But I also don't know what land I want to cut right now.
I was going to say, what one would you cut? But if you're not sure, no point in asking.
I'm not a huge fan of Justicar's Portal. It's not a bad trick. But we have a bunch of like better tricks, and this one's much more conditional on what your opponent's doing.
Okay.
So how many creatures did we end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't like this card. I said I don't like you. Go away. 13, 14, 15. Oh, it's marking it as a 7. So that's a good number of creatures. So I'm...
Okay.
It's a bunch of draw spells. This is my least favorite card in this deck. I'm gonna cut 1. I don't really want to play even 1 copy of this because it's not an exciting card, but
which one's there?
It's just a bad stat line for this format in general. What else do we not like? I want to play all the 2 drops. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking along those lines because this is a bit bigger of a format. So we need to... So if we cut a land, that means we still need to cut 2 more cards. I think it's got to be the Arrester's Zeal. It's the lowest impact in the deck. It's not bad, but we have better fast spells, I think. One more card. Probably wants to be a spell. I don't think we can, though. Like, this would probably be the next card I would cut.
Oh, we're 2 over and we can't be...
You always want to be as low as you can.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be at 40 cards in limited because of... So yeah, we're going to just cut the trick. And then we're going to look at details. 13, 11. Well, that can't be right. Did I count badly, or do we have more than one thing that creates a token? Because it's not counting this as a creature, which I do, because obviously it makes a creature.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's going to have to be good enough. I'm looking for the color distribution, so we're more blue than white. So I'm going to cut...
A white?
Yeah. Cut a plains. Wait. What? I can't math. That's 17. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
I need to cut 2 cards now, because I can't count. So we really can't cut any more creatures. Where are our spells? Can we sort this differently?
Well, how many of those lockets are you running?
Just one. I think
Okay.
I think it's got to be the locket as one of the cuts, just because it's not an amazing card. Something else I really want to cut. I might just cut the bad creature at this point. I think I have to. We do also draw 2 extra cards to start. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the bad creature.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes. Oh, we only have 21 hours to do this draft.
Oh no.
Limited time event. Let's see what Manor BD blah blah blah. I didn't see it.
BSD 801 or something like that.
Well, we drew our best card. We drew a bunch of stuff. I would like another land, but I also don't like mulliganing. So we're gonna go for it.
I didn't like...
God, people are playing more than 40 card decks. Maybe that's right. I don't know. Maybe with the drawing 9 you can get away with actually... Oh, he had to mulligan. It's the first time I've seen someone mulligan in this.
Creature.
Yeah. This can also pay 1 to tap and mill him for 1, which isn't super exciting, but it's definitely not going to be something I'm going for. But, you know, if he plays a creature I can't attack into...
That was one of the things that made me mad when I went to a little event, and I was doing well until I got to a guy that had a deck that was all about milling, and I couldn't get the damage.
Yeah.
I had him down to 2 life.
Alright, we're going to go on the aggressive here.
And he milled all like my frickin' lightning bolts and everything. That drove me nuts.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just going to go on the aggressive here. Play the big flyer. Keep a land on top so I can play a second big flyer next turn. The hope is that this draws like a removal spell here. And then he can't answer... Oh my god. People love this card. Ill-Gotten Inheritance. Beginning of your upkeep. Deals 1 damage to your opponent and you gain 1 life. I think people are way too high on that card. It's a lot more interesting in this format because... obviously you get it out a lot faster. But it also doesn't develop his board. He can't interact. And we're just gonna... We have a much faster clock that he's gonna struggle to do stuff about. This guy, he can sack a creature. You can just sack a creature every upkeep thanks to this guy and deal 2 damage to me, but generally you don't want to do that. This is more of a utility card that fits with the Rakdos theme in this set. Ooh, going 3 colors.
I can understand going 2, but...
You can do 3 in this format just because of the amount of fixing, because of the gates. They're just tap dual lands that can add more than 1 color. And as long as you're... Like, he's playing red, green, and...
Black.
He's playing red, green, and red, black, which are 2 supported guilds, so you can get a little bit more power out of gold cards.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're super sad because he killed my big guy. But, what can you do? Still have another flyer that gets to beat in. And we'll play another one. So... Nah. We'll just play this. So he gets to just sit here and drain for a while. Resolve all. Don't need to... I'm going to assume he's not going to sack his only creature, just deal 2 damage to my face.
He may. You never know.
Not when I'm at 16. Axebane Beast. Very unimpressive creature. It's fine, but, like, it's not very good here, because I guess...
34 for how much?
4 mana. It's your serviceable curve filler.
But...
Ooh, Grotesque Demise. So now we're going to show off the utility, why I like this card. I'm just going to bounce my creature. So instead of him getting to kill it, it's still a card-for-card trade on his side, but I get my good card back in my hand.
Yeah.
We're going to go right ahead and jam it. We're looking for action here. not land. Send the land away. Gonna give my boy Vigilance. And poke him for 1. So now he's in a lot better shape at the moment, but he's also top decking, and I have 2 removal spells. His 3/4 doesn't do much, but like he can just sit on this for a while. If he draws another removal spell for this, he could definitely win. I might have to try. Oh, obviously I'm not going to be able to mill him out before he kills me with the Inheritance, because this can also, you can sack it for 6 mana and deal 4 to the face. Ooh. So it represents a clock, and so it means like I have to try to win the game.
You can't play it slow. You have to.
Yeah.
You gotta.
But it doesn't look like he has anything right now, so. Drew a meaty 5-drop, so we're probably gonna play that.
I was gonna say.
Instead of giving my guy Vigilance, but we'll do it after combat. He drew a card and then did nothing.
Yeah,
so it could be a land, but it's more likely to be a spell. It's almost certainly not a creature.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do anything, so we're just gonna jam my human. Oh yeah, it's Humongulous. Humongulous, I guess.
Oh, you're putting a big creature that can't be targeted by spell.
Well, it's not that big, but it is. It does hold off his board very well if he somehow. But once again, the issue that we have here is that we can't sit around and do nothing.
Yeah.
The fear we have. Ooh, Guardian Project. This is an interesting rare, and I like it a lot in this format. So, whenever he plays a creature that doesn't have the same name as something in his graveyard or on the field, he gets to draw a card. So it's just a great way to like draw a bunch of extra cards. I don't like it as much normally because it's 4 mana, but obviously you can power it out a lot faster here. We have a spare mana, so we're just gonna mill him. Generally, it doesn't matter what you mill, but it's better to do it than to not do it.
Yeah.
Actually, ended up milling a very strong card, so
that's helpful.
Yeah. Anyways, didn't draw anything exciting, so we're just gonna.
Not gonna play the land, Drew?
No, there's no reason to. It means he doesn't know what this card is.
Oh, okay.
It's generally speaking, if you don't have to, you don't want to play lands out of your hands.
Okay.
Unless you know if you top deck a certain land next turn, you can play a certain combination of spells. But like, there's no advantage because I can just play it next turn if I need to. It's one of those things that like less experienced players will just play them out, but then that's one less card he knows that I have in my hand. Frenzied Arians. This is a great card, especially in this format. 4 mana, 3/3. Has the ability Riot, which either it can come in with a +1/+1 counter or haste, so it's great flexibility. And then it also you can pay 6 mana to give it +3/+0 until end of turn. And then it also has Trample. So this is a great example of a mana sink card. Play as a 4/4, which is unfortunate, but like I wanted to kill it. But yeah, obviously he's not going to send it in. It doesn't attack particularly well right now. I could Slime Bind it, but that doesn't actually deal with it because it has the sync ability.
Okay.
So we're just going to aim to Summary Judgment it on his... Well, I have to do it on my turn because of how Summary Judgment works. If I use it on his turn, it deals 3 damage, but if I use it on mine, it does 5.
Okay, and you're just going to continue.
Or we can top deck Bring to Trial and just kill it. Oh, I didn't realize that I clicked on that. I did not actually want to. Senate Courier. Eat in for 4 in the air. Nice, simple. Here I'm going to play... Oh, shoot. One thing to watch out for when you're playing Arena is that if you don't turn it off, it auto-taps your lands. I like having auto-tap on because...
Saves time for one.
Yeah, but in this case, it tapped 2 white sources when I really didn't want it to. You can manually still tap your lands, but you... Oh, wait, no, I used 2 white mana. What am I talking about? I'm done.
Okay.
I used white for the removal
But I understand
spell.
what you're trying to say. That does make sense. And
it's just one of those things you have to pay attention to, that you don't tap your mana wrong.
Yeah.
So we're in pretty good shape here. He's obviously not drawing anything to deal with the flyers.
Which is handy for us.
His creatures don't do anything. He gets to sit on this Ilgon Inheritance. It's unfortunate that he's going to eventually be able to blow it up and...
Hit you for 4?
Yeah, but more so it just keeps him alive. The less time this game goes on, the better. In general.
Yeah.
Just because, like, if he draws a removal spell and kills the Senate Griffin, he actually arguably has a better board. But then again, I can also mill him out.
Yeah,
medium.
take.
Oh, that's a good draw.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we're gonna tap out here because neither of these removal spells are super important to cast on his turn. This one's better on my turn anyway.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna give our boy Vigilance. The only thing is, like, I can't tell if this is a spell or not because this is always gonna stop him because he can do this at any time.
Yeah.
He might be thinking about it, but there's no reason for him to do it now because he can do it at any time. Like, if I have a pump spell to kill him, he can just activate it in response. Like, you should just take the 4 damage here. Alright, we're gonna play this boy. 5 mana, 2/5, Vigilance, can't be blocked. Once again, like, similar to this card, it's just a decent stat line to hold the board. But
nice.
the unblockable is a really nice thing to have.
Yeah, that's 2 damage coming his way.
It's also really good if we ever draw High Alert.
The whole thing we were kind of building shit.
Yeah. But, like, the good thing is, like, this card's still fine if you don't have High Alert. This card's not super exciting, but fine. I like it a lot less in this format because, like, why I like this normally, it's because there's a lot of, like, 3-power flyers. Oh, here he goes, sacks the Illidan Inheritance. Which is actually good for us because commits a lot of his mana, and his board still can't attack through mine. Land, yay. Give our birdie Vigilance. Crunk in. Deal a nice 6 damage to his face. Which is always nice, because this means that he has to kill this or he loses.
Yeah.
He could also theoretically kill us here. I am low, because like he can sack this, deal 2... Oh, he should have sacked the other one, but... So I take 5. I take 2 here. I don't know if there's anything that deals direct 5 damage to my face. It'd be really annoying. Oh, God. Oh, it's so close. He plays the other Ill-Gotten Inheritance. I go to 1, but he dies on the crackback. So close. Oh, I'm so glad we didn't lose that. He's tapped out. He can't block any of these creatures. We win.
Nice.
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Just to show you that, like, the Ill-Gotten Inheritance is actually a really interesting card, because it makes it's harder to race, and it's hard to interact with. Once again, that's where the Expose the Daylight comes in handy. Our opponent offers us a good game, so we'll send it back to him, and win. Boop, boop, boop. I definitely feel like we had the better deck there. Like, he had just a bunch of unexciting creatures, but the Ill-Gotten Inheritance...
Puts the clock on you.
Yay, rewards for winning. It's a clock, and, like, that 4 life, that 8 life swing that it can sack to do is kind of threatening.
Ooh.
But unfortunately, he didn't have any interaction for us. Unfortunately for him, I should say.
Oh, we draw your favorites.
Yeah, we drew our best card, so... This is just a decent hand in general. Skitter Eel's really nice, so...
Plus you got the Guild Gate, too.
Yep. Play it out. Play our 2 lands. Do nothing on turn 1, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, but
This is a good hand. We have
2
good
more.
good threat, interaction, hold the fort. Ooh, Gateway Plaza.
What's the same kind of thing as your...
Well, what it is a gate, but you have to pay 1 mana, or it sacks when it comes in, but it adds 1 mana of any color. It's not a very good 5-color land, but it works for this format, and it's kind of necessary for some of the more interesting things you might want to do in Limited.
Okay, and this is the one that you pay some mana, you get +2/+2.
Yeah. So this represents a really fast clock in this format. And if he doesn't do anything here... Oh no, he's just... Oh, 3 colors again.
Red,
Good
black.
old Jundi again. He's going to Jund us out again. So the best thing about this is that we can do this at instant speed. So we can just attack for free here. If he blocks, we get to pump it, and he loses his creature for no reason. But if he doesn't, I can now choose to not pump it, which I'm going to do, and just run out another threat.
Nice. Okay, that's nice. I didn't know that it was...
Yeah, instant speed ability.
That's very handy.
Yeah.
Now
There's a bit of a risk that leaving this at a 3/3, he might have a way to kill it.
he could throw like a equivalent to a lightning bolt.
Yeah, there's
Whereas if it was 5,
There's less things that interact with it. There's a notable card he could have is I think it's called Gruesome Demise. We actually saw it last game, but we didn't really pay attention to it. It exiles a creature with power 3 or less, so that can hit this now. But I think it's better for tempo.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but this is also just a generically. Oh, well, you look at that. This is a really good card. 2 mana, deal 6 to a creature with flying on the one half, and then on the other it can give +4/+2 and trample. Nice flexible card, and it's one of those cards that I really like playing in any version of this format, because having a way to just deal with flyers that's not blank in other situations, that's annoying. But we drew a trick. So watch this. Normally this is really bad because if we adapted, this still trades, but we top deck Slimebind, which has flash, so he's gonna block. He's gonna snap. Oh, he doesn't block. Okay. We don't really have another card we want to develop here. So I'm going to adapt. Just to get the extra damage in.
Yeah.
And then second main, I'm going to just kill off his smaller guy. Oh, I didn't have to... Oh, that was wrong. Yeah, that was a mistake by me. I could have held this up because it actually dealt with both of his creatures anyway.
Oh.
So that was a mistake. I should have held it, and then I could have killed the 5/2 instead. But the 5/2 absolutely represents it's a very good blocker against this guy, so he might not want to attack with it anyway.
Okay.
This is starting to look rough. Well, it's just we don't really have anything else, so if he does find an answer to the eel, we're in trouble. Well, he's going on the aggressive. Right now, we win the race. If he doesn't have some good blocker here.
Good blocker or start gaining some life.
There's not a lot of... most life gain is attached to something. Ooh. So what's this guy do? Oh, I have to discard a card. Ugh. So many clunky cards that he has. Well, Bring to Trial is good, Slimebind. I think we're just going to kill both his creatures next turn. And try to clock him with the 5/5. Well, not kill both of them next turn, but we're going to kill. We're going to get rid of the only other creature we have. Might be wrong, but...
Yeah.
As I said, I still feel like we win this race. We're going to attack because there's a world where he might block with this creature. I don't think he will. And he doesn't. So now we're just going to kill it. I guess we should kill the better one.
Yeah.
So this might, once again, he might be encouraged to leave this back to block. This card's interesting. It has the Spectacle ability, which if you deal damage to your opponent, you get to cast it for its Spectacle cost. Most of them, it just reduces the cost, but this one, it's a higher cost, and it has an ability if you pay the Spectacle cost, which is why I had to discard a card.
Okay.
So this is either a 4-mana 4/2 or a 5-mana 4/2, discard a card. Your opponent discards a card.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's mostly just filler in the Rakdos deck. I don't like it that much because I don't like creatures with high power and low toughness because they tend to trade down a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good 2-mana 2-power guys in this format, so
that can just easily take it out.
So what we see here is, oh, he's going for it.
Not to mention it.
So now the real interesting thing here is whether or not I actually cast this. I think I'm not going to. Just take the 4 damage. If he has some sort of trick to deal extra damage, I can still cast a Slimebind. He doesn't. I don't think he can deal 8 damage to me right now.
Okay.
And then likely what we'll do is we'll Slimebind whatever he plays here. So yeah, that resolves. Big bulky guy. I like this guy's deck. He's got a bunch of high power things to beat things down fast, but we're gonna neatly deal with this one. Hey look, we drew our high alert. It is completely irrelevant here. But anyways. Actually, it would be bad, because I think... Is it each... Oh, no, it's just my creature, so it doesn't affect his. Which would be bad, because it would mean that this guy actually would get to kill my eel. If I play... But that doesn't work that way.
Okay.
So right now, he's super incentivized. Oh, he's not gonna block. That's interesting. Alright. Coming down to the wire. So this card's interesting. It's a big stat line for 5 mana, but it has to attack every turn. Oh, I gotta make sure I don't screw up. This is a card that's very easy to screw up. Because if you cast it at the wrong time... If you cast it after this creature has attacked, it still gets to attack, even though this prevents it from attacking. Because it's already attacked. It just hasn't dealt damage yet.
Gotcha.
So I have to make sure I cast this before he goes into combat. Plays a Locket. The good thing is he doesn't really have lethal here, so it might force him to spend mana pre-combat. Which obviously he did here by playing the Locket. Deal 3 damage to target opponent. That player discards 2 cards. Oh, that's threatening. Well, we kind of have to do this. Or, no, we don't. Cancel. I wonder if he still sees it. So that resolves. You gotta let it resolve. Discard these 2 cards. Oh, it doesn't matter. Now I have to really make sure I don't do this at the wrong time, because obviously he has to... Woof. That was close. I almost screwed up multiple times, but we got there. So the interesting thing is this has to attack, so he doesn't get to use it as a blocker. And now this can't block. And he spent all of his mana. So he can't win.
Okay.
Unless he has land Skewer the Critics, which would suck. But I think he loses. He's just taking his sweet time. He's probably trying to go through without attacking this and not... Yeah, we got there. Very tight game again. But managed resources mostly well. Made one pretty glaring mistake, but we got there.
Victory.
Just goes to show you, sometimes you just need one creature to beat down. Games are firing fast today, I like it. Against Narseer? Oof.
Not a good hand.
Oh, that's actually something that's interesting. It looks bad because I don't have any white sources. But I do have something I can play on turn 1. I have an interactive spell that I can cast. Any land that I draw from my deck lets me cast this card.
Oh, okay.
So even if I only see blue mana, I can still cast 4 of these cards.
Okay, so that's good.
But I think I have to mulligan. Just because if I don't see a land, this hand is garbage. We're going to mulligan. And we get the exact opposite problem. We're going to keep this one, though. Leave the island on top. It sucks that the island is on top instead of in our hand, so we don't get to play our 2-drop, but we have a very good card here.
Ooh, white-blue versus white-blue.
That's green.
Oh.
Good try, though. Good try.
From the angle I'm looking.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to tell, but sometimes. One thing, I think all the lands will have the same art. Oh, yeah, he is white-blue. You were right. White-blue-green, but...
Yeah. There you go.
Steeple Creeper. This is an exciting card. This is a card I don't want to see from him. 4/2, and he can pay mana to give it flying. Fortunately, he doesn't have the mana right now, so we just get to attack. And we will play our Night Arbiter here. I'm going to play my second land here, just I don't have to. I actually probably shouldn't, because I can play 2 lands next turn. So we're in trouble here.
Because we need some stuff to get.
Yeah, we have nothing going on. We drew a lot of land. Just raw dogging in the attack. We'll take it. He probably has a trick.
You don't want to block him.
The thing is, like, if he, like, almost any trick that he could have here blows me out, and I lose my better creature.
Okay.
Right now, he doesn't win. Oh, there we go. He had the bounce spell. But he still could have had the trick. We drew 1 as well. Which mana do we have? We have 7, so we can't cast this. We can't cast both of these. But I think we're in a position where we really want to... Oh, wait. No. Because we don't have another blue source. I don't want to not do anything this turn. This is rough.
If you had another blue source...
Yeah, like, I'd be fine, like, if I drew... If I had another blue source, I'd be fine with doing this and this. I think I might have to. This changes the clock quite a bit into my favor. Well, we didn't draw a blue source, but we drew a creature we can cast. So it worked out. Beat in for 2. And now we should be winning the race. Unfortunately, his 4/2 is pretty good against blocking against this board, because he can just play it and then he can jump it to block. But that uses up all of his mana, so he can't do anything else here. Yeah, it looks like he's going to save it. That's good for us, because it means that he's forcing himself to play defensive.
Is he playing 4 colors there?
No, it's 3. I can see why. I thought so at first too, but no, this is blue-green. Okay. So we're just going to send our worst creature in so that he can't jump and block our better one. And if he trades with this one, I get a token. Yeah. We're going to jam the Night Arbiter back down. Ooh, does he have Thought Collapse? He does. Counter and I mill 3. Not that exciting. Cancel's just fine in this format. There's a lot of big mana things people are doing, and that stopped. Oh, the mouse cursor went over to the other. We're not going to block his creature. So we're in a little bit of a rough shape here. If he just develops a creature here. That cancel was pretty bad for us. Oof, that's a good card. This is probably one of the best cards in this format. So it's, you pay 2 mana 2/2, which is always fine. But then 6 mana, it adapts for 4. Which is a lot. So right now, I think what we do is we just attack. And then when he goes to adapt this next turn, we blow him out with the bounce spell. Well, not really blow him out, but we can get ahead on tempo. Oh, he has something. Oh, it might just be stopping because he can jump this. Nope, he has a Law Mage's Binding here. That's rough.
And what's that gonna do?
This is the it can attack or block or activate abilities.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Oh, we are not in good shape here. We're gonna have to play defensive. We have to let that resolve, unfortunately. I would have liked to bounce the creature, but I lose a lot of life if I do that. I think I'm better off just him throwing mana into this, and then I get to
bounce it out.
Yeah. He's not going to pump it. It's not surprising. This looks like it might be a loss here. Oof, the Chillbringer. That card's so good. Gets to tap one of my creatures, and then it doesn't untap on my turn. Shoot.
Okay.
I don't want to do this either, but... Oh, I shouldn't have done. I should have bounced this one. That was dumb. Well, we're making mistakes, and we're getting messy.
No.
Work out the kinks. Leave up the removal spell. We are in very rough position. Actually, I think we just lose here. No, yeah. We don't have a way to win this game from here. Because he can just adapt this guy, so I don't have... Oh. Oof, that's rough. Yeah, you got it. So he's going to make a copy of his Chillbringer, which then taps my guy down, and I lose. What I needed to have done was bounce my guy with the Law Mage's Binding on it and replay it.
Yeah.
I still would have lost, but it's a better play. Oh, opponent had a very nice deck there.
Okay. So you just keep drafting for so many matches?
So what it is, it's either once you get to 7 wins or 3 losses, and then you're done.
Oh, okay.
Not a bad hand. Bunch of cards we can cast. Card that pays off.
You got at least one of each of your colors here.
Mm-hmm. Good thing about this deck is we don't have a lot of double mana, so like with one of each land we can cast most of the spells. Which makes it hard to cast multiples.
So
ooh, Tearman
in there?
Yeah. So we drew Fairy Duelist, which is a nice card. Like, it's not great on turn 1 or 2, but it's great later because it's got a trick attached to it. But then he also happened to play one of the very few cards in the game that this actually just beats up entirely. So, like, in this situation, I get to shrink his guy and then block it and kill it for free. Unless he has something, but I'm also completely fine if he... Like, if he just has a trick here, I'm completely fine trading my 2-drop for his trick, and then him not being able to do anything. But instead it just dies, which is also good. So that was way above average as to what a turn 1 Fairy Duelist would do. Oof. Turn 3 just plays a Locket. That is so good for us. Play our Skatewing Spy, because...
He's all tapped out.
There's a good chance that we're just going to adapt this guy next turn. Comes a 4/5 with flying.
Nice.
Especially if he doesn't do anything particularly threatening on this turn. Oh, look, he has a Skatewing Spy. do the same thing we did before, where we just attack and give him the opportunity to... Oh, except we didn't play our mana first. That was a pretty big punt by us. Fortunately, he didn't punish us by blocking. We're just gonna jam our... I never said I was that good at this game.
Yeah. Better than I am, but...
Ooh, he's running the 4-color special here.
Ooh.
It's probably not correct, but... You know, people try it. If there's a format where you can do it, it's the one where you start with extra cards in your hand and can play multiple lands.
Yeah. Generally, that
30,
helps.
31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36.
Ooh, a Planeswalker.
38, 39. Oh, no, he played 40. Seems exciting, except this card, like, this isn't a great Planeswalker. It doesn't really... Well, he makes a 1/1 flyer, which isn't terrible.
Did they all have legendary Planeswalker?
Yeah, that's a new change they made recently, just to clean up some rules. It wasn't really necessary. Attack, attack, attack. He's not going to. Unfortunately, we don't get to use this 2 mana here very efficiently, but... Woo. Alrighty then. So we want to kill this, because it does still represent a way for him to just win the game over time.
Yeah, it's generally
but,
how they are, those Planeswalkers.
So we can make more 1/1 flyers. If a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, he gets more loyalty. Actually, this isn't even that threatening at all. We're going to try to kill it anyway, because there's no reason not to. Actually, we might be able to force him to block if he overvalues the Planeswalker. So what we'll do is we'll send everyone at the Planeswalker. So this puts him in a position where if he wants to keep it alive,
he's
got to sack both of his creatures. Because he'll block here. Yeah, so now we get to adapt this guy. And then he loses both his creatures. His Planeswalker survives, but it's not that scary.
Oh, what'd he just do?
Played Growth Spiral. Pays 2 mana to draw a card, and then he can put a land into play, which he did. Which wasn't that scary. So now this Planeswalker doesn't really get to do anything here.
Because the thing, because he can't minus it.
He can to make the 1/1, but then it's gone.
Gone.
But more importantly, we just got to kill one of his creatures for absolutely free, which is always
Yeah,
good.
we got rid of his Skyway thing.
Yeah, he's going to just plus it, which isn't that threatening.
What's the plus effect?
Whenever something deals combat damage to me that turn, it gets more loyalty, which obviously he can't deal combat damage to me without any creatures. So anyways, since he's tapped out, we're just going to deal with his creature. Actually, we're going to kill his locket, too. Gives him less resources. Something to do with our mana this turn.
Yeah.
We get to scry 1. We'll put the Slime Bind away because we're ahead. Yeah. Actually, I think that means we should keep the Slime Bind. Play out the land so we can Summary Judgment if we want to. Yeah. Send 2 damage over at Dovin. Since he can't do anything about it. Send the other 2 right to his face. Maybe? Oh, it did. Yeah. It's a little hard to tell where things are attacking, but it's better than it used to be. Because it used to be if you pressed all attack, everything would just go right to their face and you wouldn't get the opportunity to attack Planeswalker. Oh. And now you actually, if you press all attack, it stops you and makes you have to try to put creatures to that. He's got a Skitter Eel. Not that scary, he can't adapt it. And even if he does, it doesn't block any of my creatures. Send everything to his face.
Yeah, might as well.
So we could play the Arrester's Admonition here and bounce his creature, draw an extra card. But we win next turn almost all the time, so I'd rather just bounce some big flyer that he might play here.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't know what he could pull out this turn.
Yeah, we're going to let him attack for 3. We don't care if we take 5 damage here. He's not killing us.
Oh no, I'm at 15 life.
Yeah. And then he concedes. Yep. That was a much simpler game. Yeah. Yay, we won. Got 100 gold for our 4th win of the day, I guess.
Well, 3rd.
Well, 4th, because we did the one before.
Sure, yeah. Well, 3rd on
the idea is that I'm gonna win 2 of these drafts, and then with the game I did before, I get 15 wins for the day. Well, it's a pretty nice hand. Bunch of creatures, no interaction, but this is a very strong combo. And
plus you got the Petitioners.
Yeah, we got something to do on turn 1. And, like, this is a pretty powerful line to take. Ooh.
Okay, blue. We've also got
Blue,
the Guildgate. Yeah.
I don't want to play the Guildgate. I could, but I can also play it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jam the eel next turn.
Okay.
And then I'm going to adapt it on... Ooh, that's a powerful card. 4 mana, 4/4 flyer, already really strong. But then he also gets to scry at the beginning of each of his turn. And if you happen to have this in your opening hand, you can reveal it and scry 3 before you do anything.
Oh, wow.
It's a very powerful card. We have to hope that our Skitter Eel plus Skatewing Spy is strong enough. 35, so... He's got the normal 40 card deck. There is a world where we start milling him out.
Yeah.
One really interesting thing we can do, since he scries every turn, is we can hold up the mana, and then after his scry... after his scry, we can mill it if he keeps it on top.
Okay.
That's where, so you'll see here along the top bar, you can put stops at any point. So this will mean the game won't progress past that point. It simulates in real Magic, because in order to go through a phase in real Magic, both players have to pass priority. It's assumed that you pass priority unless you put one of these stops in when you play online.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Oof. I don't know why he tanked on that so long. So he Titanic rolls, he gets to fight, kills my guy for free, which is not good, but fortunately we have a backup flyer. Not yet, but eventually. So we're going to play our tap land, going to play a land for turn, jam the Skatewing Spy, and then we're going to put a stop. We're not going to attack, because we want to get that extra value out of the mill. So he resolves the ability. I should be able to do this, but I don't know if the... Okay, yeah. So he kept it on top, so we're going to mill it. It was a land. So that was probably good. So now he can't... I don't know why he has a Rakdos Guildgate in his deck. It could mean he's just playing one of these two colors and has some of the cards that reward you for having gates.
Possibly.
But...
Or he could be playing 3 colors.
Well, it'd be 4, because this is not either of the colors he has here.
Oh, okay.
Verity Circle. This is scary. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it isn't being declared as an attacker, you may draw a card, and then you can play 5 mana, tap a creature without flying. Fortunately, we have a way around that, because this will gain flying when we adapt it. And we can even do that in response to him using this ability. So yeah, we're just going to sit tight. No attacks. Do the same thing we did before. I gotta make sure I put that stop there. It goes away after the stop's done, so I gotta make sure I remember to put that stop there.
Okay, so you have to generate it every time.
Yeah. He kept it on top, so we're gonna mill it again. Oh, he has to draw the card. Whoops. So that strategy goes away. I didn't even think about that. So since I tap this, he gets to draw the card anyway.
Dang.
So that whole strategy doesn't really work. Anyways. He drew the card that he wanted to draw, which is unfortunate. Oh, that's good to know. It actually puts the stop at both the end of his upkeep and the end of his draw step. So that's good to know. I was concerned because it's only 1 point, but there's 2 phases, but it just puts the stop in both. So we're not going to do that thing we talked about right now. Oof, the Chillbringer. That's really good. We are in rough shape. We're going to Prying Eyes. Alright, what do we got? We got to discard 2 cards because we played the Prying Eyes. Persistent Petitioner doesn't do anything here. Concordia Pegasus isn't terrible, but, like, it might be needed to do some blocking. And we're going to toss the Huge Munculus because it doesn't do anything either.
Yeah.
So now he taps down our guy. He has to draw another card. So now this won't untap next turn, which is rough. We're in bad shape here. Did he draw? No. That's 2 Rakdos Guildgates plus the one we milled. I have no clue what this guy's doing. He's playing the greediest of greedy decks. Alrighty then. So we can't bounce the Trailbringer, obviously. But I think we need to try to draw some more cards. So we're going to bounce his Sphinx. Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Draw a card. Draw something that stonewalls is 3/3, which is good. So we'll run out our lands. And run out our flyers. We're not going to mill him. Because, oh, actually, if we start milling him, he draws extra cards. But then it means he goes through his deck faster. I don't know if we're going to be able to win on the life total race.
Yeah.
We have to make the decision as we go.
See what he starts.
Because, like, giving him extra cards isn't good.
Yeah. You're giving him more opportunity to hit you.
Well, it's just he has more options. Generally, you want your opponent to have as few options as possible.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I don't think we win this game, though. He's really far ahead. He has a lot of good cards. The 4/4 is just better than what we're doing. We have to hope. I don't think we can let him draw extra cards, because if he has more Chillbringers or any sort of interaction, he just gets to get rid of our Skatewing Spy, and then we lose. So yeah, we can't mill him. He's tanking for some reason. Oh, he's not playing his 4/4 for some reason. I like it. I don't know why he's doing this. He could just jam the 4/4 and win that way. This makes the mill line quite possibly better now. Because he's got a ton of cards in his hand anyway. He can't possibly cast them all. And he just decided not to play his card that's better than everything I have on my board.
Huh.
So yeah, I think we go for the mill plan.
Huh?
Oh, he's really tanking. He just used a timeout. Medium cards. Doesn't really matter.
I like how it has the Griffin stuff flip.
Yeah, so since we know it's in his hand.
Yeah.
So this looks bad, but I think we're going to go for the milling plan here. Probably mill
Make
the
him
less
draw on one and discard.
Ooh, nice. We drew the Bring to Trial to answer his 4/4, which is good. So how much land do we have? We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 6 mana. So yeah, we're going to play our High Alert here. This lets us untap creatures if we want to. We're not going to attack because we have no profitable attacks. Oh, we do. Shoot. I'm bad. I forgot I played High Alert, so this gets to attack as a 4/4. Having the classic issue of tunnel visioning. So yeah, I should have attacked for 4 damage in the air. But we'll see what happens from here. Our opponent is definitely taking his time, which is generally a bad thing, because good players take their time.
Yeah. It's the brash and impulsive ones that just do things quick.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, we've been playing pretty quickly, but most of the lines have been... But then again, I also say that after I have been saying that I've been making a bunch of mistakes as well, so... Yeah, jams the Sphinx, not surprising. Good thing is, right now, is this Chillbringer can't really do anything, because if it attacks, it just dies to the Senate Courier. But I think the plan at this point is going to be to... we start attacking for 4 every turn. He's not doing any attacks. We're going to go for this. He might have a removal spell in response, but we're never going to have a better time to do this adapt. Didn't have it. That is good for me. Nah. I'm going to assume he doesn't have interaction, so we're going to go for the killing his dude. Might have an interactive spell to save it. That's what it looks like here. Nope. Give our boy Vigilance.
How many more cards do we gotta get rid of?
He's got 15 left.
No.
So every time I tap this, he draws 1, mills 1, and he draws 1 first turn. So that means we win in 5 turns if we go on the mill plan. But we're now in a position where we're actually ahead on board. So there's actually a good chance that we don't want to do that. Which makes it a mistake to have milled them before. Because now we're in a position where we can just turn everything sideways. This is representing 6, 10, 15 damage to him. And this has Vigilance, yeah. I think we're going to just go for the turn sideways plan.
Okay.
This thing doesn't do a ton here because all my creatures have flying. The fear here is that he just takes the damage and then plays some big flyer or has pump spells.
Yeah.
But right now I think he's... Okay, so... Oh, get to the point. Kills my guy. And he gets to scry one. That is fine. Keeps it on top. He goes for the block on our Pegasus. That's fine. He now has no board. We're going to play our land here, because we might actually...
Need the mana?
Well, we might... as I said, this gets to untap our guys, and then we might still mill him.
Yeah.
Which I should have... Oh, no, because he never... Yeah. I don't know. It's rough to say. So right now, I've lost a lot of respect for him as a deck builder. Because he's playing... Well, yeah, he's playing Guild... Oh, no, okay. So we did have the Ram. This is a super threatening card. So it gets +1/+1 for each gate he controls. So this is why he's playing a bunch of Rakdos Guild gates randomly.
So that way he can just pump that thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw the Rakdos Guild gates.
Yeah, you're...
He's casting some spell.
It doesn't surprise me,
that's
because
fine.
sometimes one card like that can really make the difference.
So now we're in a pretty rough shape. This thing is a super big threat.
Yeah, and we don't have any removal.
Well, we have nothing. This can just attack. I don't think I can run the risk of milling him. Because he's used a lot of his card. Yeah, I don't think we can go for the mill plan. Or maybe we have to. Ugh, this is probably wrong. If it's wrong, I don't want to be right. Looks like he has something here. But who knows? Draw a card, mill a card. Mill the bounce spell. Ooh, and then we drew
Get a bounce spell.
It's a pretty good sequence of events here. So we're going to bounce his Ram.
Get rid of that for a bit.
Yeah. Represents the... It makes it a lot harder for him to clock us. Drew a land. That's never good. Give our boy Vigilance. Represent... We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, so we don't need to... Oh, we're not attacking with the Petitioner anyway. Actually. Oh, he's got something here. We'll go in for 4 in the air.
Yeah. Take him down to 9.
So if I mill him... I can mill him 4 more cards here. That's not that good. Oh, he's going for the Slime Bind. Yep, deal damage. That didn't work. So the interesting thing here is that gives me smaller power. But this means I assign damage equal to toughness, not the power equals my toughness. So...
He kind of wasted.
Yeah. That's something that I can see a mistake you can be making. Yeah, but that's good for us. Not really. But it does mean that this still gets to sit around and block pretty well.
Yeah.
So we got 11 cards left. As I said, the bigger fear here is more so that he just pressures us out. Movie ticket. This is a tough game.
Yeah, no.
He definitely takes his time, though.
Well, that's what you should do.
I suspect a Ram will be played here. It's a really cheap, efficient threat. There's the Ram. Once again, I'm still in this rough pickle. I think now that I've started to try to mill him out, I have to commit to it. But, yeah. Oh, there's a Chillbringer. That doesn't work as well as you would like it to, my friend. Resolves, who you're targeting. Yep, not surprising. So he gets to tap this down, but the interesting thing is that I can just untap it. We're gonna start the mill train.
Go. With the mill train.
Alright. So that's, that'll be 6 cards that go away from him right now. I think? No, 5. 2 from the Verity Circle, 2 from the Verity Circle, 2 from the Persistent Petitioner, and then another one when he taps this down. Savage Smash is a really good card to see him mill here, because it means he can't kill the Persistent Petitioner.
No, okay.
Not like he'd be killing it this turn, but... So this seems good that he tapped down my big guy, but what... I can just untap it with the High Alert.
Oh, okay.
So, let's see. I have 12 mana. So that means I can only do it twice. But I can mill him 4 cards. Doesn't really matter. So, what we have to do is we High Alert the Senate Courier. And that lets us do 1, 2. That also lets us mill him twice with Petitioner. Alright. We're not going to attack. So 6, and then we mill him 4. So we do need to untap with the Petitioner.
Oh, okay.
I might have screwed up there. 8, 9, 10,
Oh, no.
11. I could have milled him 3 times, which would have milled 6 cards. But it wouldn't have won me the game, so it doesn't matter. Okay. I miscalculated because I thought it was like 12 mana meant I could mill him 3 times. But it's actually less than 12 mana. It's 11. Because I would need 2 untaps, which is 8, and then 3 mills makes it 11. And that was exactly as much as I had.
Okay.
But I think I needed to untap the Senate Courier to not die here. Oh, he just has Consigned to the Pit. Alright, so I go to 3. Yeah, no, that one's in the game. I don't know why he tanked so long. He might have thought I had a counterspell. Unfortunately, this deals 2 damage to me here, and I can't.
You can't come back from that.
Well, he just kills me when he attacks. I can block one of his cards. That was rough.
So
sometimes people are greedy.
2-2?
Yeah, we're... No, 3-2.
3-2.
Let's see if we can get back in. Perfectly fine hand.
Yeah, we got mana to spare. That's at least good.
Opponent is playing a correct size deck. Don't think it'll matter. Let's see how this game goes. Opponent plays 2 Guild Gates.
Nice.
All these 3-color decks. I think we're just going to jam our Skatewing Spy here. It's a little worse than the Spire, but there's a good chance that we just end up adapting this next turn and then just trying to punch his face in.
Nice.
Oh my god. 3 gates. Please don't have a ram. I'm so scared of ram here. Didn't have the ram. We
Not
also
yet,
did...
at least. We you can't say that until match is over.
Unfortunately, we didn't draw a 6th land here, so we don't get to adapt our Spy. But that's fine. Our opponent is stomping on our beginning of combat step. Looks like he's going to have something to interact.
Maybe.
No. Just tanking.
Also, could be a strategic thing to make you think he's got a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm. I don't put most people on being that aware. I don't want to try because, like, it's just a lot of effort to try to manually put the stops or be on full control all the time. Much more likely it's he's evaluating that these aren't a big... oh, no, it was collision.
Or
So the stop was because he had the Colossus, which he could have cast on my creatures. You obviously don't, but that's unfortunate. He gets to get... oh, we're still ahead. Ooh, he just made a 4-4. Scary. So, interesting thing we get to do here. Like, obviously we kill this with the Bring to Trial, but that's a creature token. And the good thing about creature tokens is that they disappear when you try to move them to a zone other than the battlefield.
nice. So basically, like illusions.
Yeah. Well, illusions are, like, tokens specifically, if they move zones at all. Illusion, there's some amount of illusion creatures that die when you target them.
Yeah.
It means the illusions are very, very vulnerable to a lot of other kinds of effects.
Yeah.
But anyways, the fact that we actually get to kill a creature with our bounce spell and draw a card, it's just a super high value play we get to do.
Nice.
And our opponent has an 8/8. That's scary. So scary. Oh, shoot.
Huh.
Well, I have the removal spell for it, which is great. But what I've missed is that this also kills it, because that Colossus is an artifact creature.
Oh, wow.
So I just used the more valuable removal spell to kill a creature can die to the less valuable removal spell. Always a good idea to use your worst removal spell to remove whatever is there, which is why I used the bounce spell on the token.
Yeah.
And now we see the punishment. Our opponent plays a Mammoth Spider, which actually doesn't die to the Bring to Trial, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but that makes it annoying. Now you can't attack with flyers.
Yeah, well,
Because
we can.
But why?
The situation, like the Fairy Duelist, lets us attack in. Unfortunately, the only issue is that like we don't really get to be rewarded for that, so we're just gonna declare no attacks and wait. It'd be nice if we could attack in with our spy and make him have to trade, but we don't have enough power to contest the spider right now. So we get to play the waiting game. Opponent plays another big creature. That one would have died to our Bring to Trial, so I'm very disappointed that I don't have it anymore. But our opponent's also in a position where they can't do much right now.
Yeah, they're just trying to build up.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to build their wall.
Ha ha ha.
But are they going to make you pay for it?
No. So we still don't have good attacks here because of the spider. So we have to sit back and wait until we draw either a way to interact with the spider or a thing that lets us beat up the spider. A creature that's better than the spider. Right now we're in pretty decent shape. He doesn't have... his creatures aren't super exciting here. This is he gets to remove a counter and he deals 2 damage to a target, but fortunately none of my guys die to that. So it also means we're not going to play this Fairy Duelist here, because it would just die. We find a land. We'll play it, because why not? We have 7 mana worth of spells in our hand. We might conceivably cast all this. Now we get to play the sit back and wait. We might transition to the mill plan. So one notable thing we get to do here is that I'm brain farting. He doesn't attack well into our board, and we don't attack well into his, but then we can just sit here and mill. Ooh, a Carrion Imp. Mediocre creature. He gets to gain 2 life. Exile a creature from a graveyard and he gains 2 life. It's an interesting card, but not...
Nothing we need to worry about.
Yeah. Once again, we're in this position where our boards have kind of stalled out. So we turn to Petitioner to win us the game.
Can it do it?
Possibly. We just milled a removal spell off the top, which is always nice to see.
Yeah.
We'll run out this land again. We have 8 mana worth of stuff that we can do, so... No attacks. It's unfortunate that we don't have a 5-power creature out, because then we have some interesting spell things we can do to try to get him to block with the Mammoth Spider, because, this thing can shock something. So if this was a 5/5, we could attack, he blocks with the spider, and then shoots it, but then we shrink the spider with the Fairy Duelist, and then we Summary Judgment the Crusher, and we get super far ahead. So the card we're looking for right now is High Alert, because that lets us attack really well with a lot of different things. Opponent just plays another big beater. Not too scared. He can start pressuring us, because it seems like he's not super excited to attack. Oh, he's coming in with the 5/5. So we're just going to take the damage here.
There's no point not to take
we can just kill it with Summary Judgment next turn. And then it's out of the way. I would have liked to do it on his end step, but it only does 3 damage on his turn.
Yeah. Come on, let's get rid of some... it's basic one.
Need to get rid of resources.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what we mill anytime. The important thing to think about with mill is that regardless of whether you take the card off the top or the bottom, it's the exact same. So it's important not to, like, tunnel vision on the mill being super important. More so when you're the player getting milled. Anyways, our opponent's just going to throw a shock at our face here since he can. We kill off his dude. We have 6 mana. We have 6 mana worth of things, so we're not going to do anything. The good old waiting game. Unfortunately, our opponent is drawing relevant spells where we're not drawing anything. So he only really needs like one more creature to be able to get ahead on this board. I'm really feeling the pain from not using this Exposed to Daylight earlier. Always got to remind yourself of the misplays you've made.
That happens.
Alright. So, this is where I tend to make mistakes. Because I have a trick that lets me block. But if he has a trick, I probably just lose. But I don't think I can take the damage, so we're going to go for it. Oh, only one creature can block that. Shoot, I forgot about that. No blocks. We're scared.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's just, we're preciously low on life.
And he's got big...
I forgot that this thing can only be blocked by one creature, which is super rough. Plays a Locket. Plays an Ilgon Inheritance. That's the scary card, but at least we have the removal spell for it. I was going to hit the Locket, but we'll hit the Inheritance instead.
Yeah, because that actively puts a timer.
Slimebind seems good here. That lets us take this out as a threat. Mill him again. My turn. We just do nothing. One thing, like, he can draw cards with this Locket here, but that gets him closer to being milled, which isn't a bad thing. We also can't stop him from drawing cards with that, but...
Yeah.
We are not in a good place here. We're not in a bad place, but the scary thing is, like, he might just play a 6/6 with haste and trample. But we can multi-block that, so I think we're going to be able to deal with it, no problem.
How is it haste, Riot?
Yeah. I'm assuming he gave it haste here.
Oh.
Just attacks with those. Alright, so we got to think here. Because there's a chance... No, I need to just make this 4. Yeah, so he's tapped out, so we're in good enough position to just... So we need to put 6 power in front of that. I'm going to do this. We're going to block. And then we have effects before damage. Put a stop there. I think it'll automatically give us the time, but... So the thing he's doing here is he's ordering the blockers, so he's deciding which one's going to die and which one's going to live. The advantage we have here is that neither of them are going to die, because we're going to shrink this thing's power. So he's going to kill the 4/5, obviously. Alright, here we go. Slimebind. Make that not a threat. Then we get to play the Fairy Duelist to also make that. Makes that only deal 4 damage. Since he assigned damage to this first, it deals 4 damage to this and doesn't have left enough to go over to this. And so that worked out pretty well.
Mill him.
The scary thing, though, of course, is that he could have, like, another big card. We drew a Rester's Admonition. I would have liked to bounce this, but obviously it has the Slimebind now, so we're just going to bounce the Spider. We might attack here if we draw the right card. We didn't. I'm just going to not play the land.
Because we might as well save those.
The issue here is that I still don't think it's profitable to attack. Because he just plays the Spider next turn and we don't kill him here. Like, we can push 7 damage to him. He blocks here. Plays the Spider. Spider blocks there. I can deal 1 more damage to him. No, I don't think it's worth it to attack.
Okay. Better to have the blockers at this point.
Yeah. Like he's already shown that he has some hasty creatures, so he might play a hasty creature here. The more scary thing is, like, as I said, like, we don't kill him next turn if we make the attack there. Because he just plays the spider. Yeah. Even if he might not have played the spider there, he might have played something else, but if we had attacked, he definitely would have played the spider.
Yeah.
We're in a good situation here, though, where he can't really break through our board yet anymore.
Yeah, and we can take the cards out by milling them and still keep a good defensive wall.
It's just, the only problem with this is very slow, and there's still the chance that you can just draw some bomby card. We need to find something good here. Instead, we just draw more lands. We're going to play the Guildgate here, just in case we draw our Prying Eyes, which is the best card for us to find here. Gives us more mana to do stuff when we do that. He's got something. Not something he wants to play, which is good for us. More land, that's always nice to see. Another Wrecking Beast. This one's significantly scarier. Oh, he just makes it a 7/7 this time.
Okay.
So this gives him the ability, he can throw a shock out with the Crusher here. He doesn't do it yet, but he might do it later. So we're in really bad position here. We need to draw something good.
Come on, some removal. High alert, pretty much, we need.
High alert doesn't really help too much. Well, no, actually it does, because it makes all of these creatures a lot stronger. Oh. I was scared there for a second, but instead he decided to kill the guy that's milling him.
Yeah.
Which isn't correct. Because if he kills the Skatewing Spy, I don't really get to block him well. So Prying Eyes is the card we're really looking for. Definitely not land, so we don't want to draw that. Yeah. So this is going to be a rough turn, because he's got some very strong creatures out. We'll see what he does here. This might be game, if he has something good. Oh, well that's also bad, because now he can shock the Senate Griffin, but that's fine. We have to let him. I think we had to play that out. I forgot that he could shock it, but we had to, because if we don't have enough stuff around to deal with his attack. Also means he's only got a 6/6 instead of a 5/5, instead of 7/7. So we might be able to just chump this for a turn. Well, we'll see what he does here. We're scared now. We're definitely, he's got 3 cards, he's got a bunch of mana. Any removal spell pretty much wins him the game.
And he could potentially have another big creature to...
Yeah. Looks like he doesn't have anything he's playing pre-combat. He's just gonna crunk in with the 6/6. I think this is gonna be game. I'm gonna make the same block we did before. He's gonna just kill the spy again, which is not good because it means the rest of his creatures are now free to attack. But I don't think we can take 6 damage here.
Yeah, because he's probably...
If he has a trick, we lose either way. Maybe it was better to not. 7. Yeah. No. Fuck. Oh, he ordered blockers wrong, though. So that's good. He decided to order blockers wrong, which means he basically used that trick to kill my worst creature. So he screwed up there pretty badly. We screwed up, too, because I didn't think about that exact trick. Oh, he's got the... Okay. But he just killed his creature. That was an interesting set of moves. I don't think he played that optimally. Unfortunately, we draw land and he still has a bunch of dudes out. Cancel attacks. I don't have good attacks here. Oh, God, I keep pressing the wrong button. That was rough. It's always rough when your opponent makes what's objectively a bad sequence of decisions, but then gets rewarded anyway. We are not in good shape here. I don't think there's a card that saves us, because he just gets to A space here. Ah, that's rough. Unless, of course, he doesn't attack with everything, then we might be able to gang block the 4-4. No, we don't have enough. We gang block the 3-3.
If I was him, I'd just be sitting.
Yeah, he doesn't send in the 3-5, which is interesting.
I would just swing with everything at this point.
Yeah, of course he should, but the thing is, like, that can't block there. Thing is, I don't have good blocks anywhere, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. He gets 2 less damage in this way. I keep 2 of my creatures. It gives me a potential to draw. Like, if he had attacked with the 3-5, I'm then at 2, which gives me a lot less of an opportunity to survive. But we drew... How many lands did we draw here? 9, 13. Did we discard any?
I think 1 was discarded.
We scryed 1 to the bottom. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
At least 1 to the bottom. That's rough. I'm sad now. It's always rough to lose games like that, where it's just you drew a bunch of land, and objectively speaking, I feel like my opponent made a bunch of misplays there.
Oh.
Shall we try it again?
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Glad I bought some extra gems to be able to do this.
You can always donate to us to the gem fund.
Yeah. If you enjoy this, money helps. I can play more drafts. I can also just win more drafts.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to picking. This is a super unexciting pack, except for the fact that we have a rare spell here. Deputy Detention exiles a non-land permanent that your opponent controls, and anything with the same name, for as long as it stays on the field. So this is just... It basically, generally, will just deal with their best creature. I don't like picking 2 color cards, pick 1, but there wasn't anything super exciting in that pack, so...
Okay.
And then... Once again, Law Mage's Binding is probably the best common in Azorius. I think it's probably objectively... It's definitely better than Summary Judgment. This card's kind of interesting. 3 mana, 3/3. Your opponents can't attack on their next turn unless they pay 2 mana per creature. Ill-Gotten Inheritance is definitely a card that I'm respecting more and more the more I see it played.
As it was doing quite a bit to you in the one game.
Normally, I think I'd hedge to the Syndicate Messenger, but I think Law Mage's Binding's enough better, and we're super encouraged to play Azorius already. Yeah. I don't like committing this early, but, you know, what are you going to do? I'll take the Senate Griffin. We have the makings for an Azorius deck here, gentlemen, and ladies, and everyone else who's watching that's in between. This is a bad card. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I've heard people that were like first picking this. Oh god, I almost picked it. Anyways,
it's a bad card, and I'm gonna pick you to show you
accidentally. I've heard stories of people like first picking this over Bomb Mythics. But anyways, we got a Skittereel here, and that's a good card. We got a Ear Heal, and it's a good card.
Well, I think we're gonna be running the same colors.
Yeah, pretty much. We don't have the High Alert this time, but we just have good cards so far.
Hey, I mean, 2 of the Skittereels.
Yeah, the Deputy Detention is super powerful. I'm going to take the Sage's Row Savant here. 2/1 for 2, scries 2 when it comes in. Pretty powerful. So now we have some very... This is one of those super important decisions that makes the difference by like 3 percentage points as to what card we pick here.
Oh.
So we got the Azorius Guildgate, which helps fix our mana, which is pretty important for cards like Deputy Detention.
Yeah.
We got the Exposed to Daylight, which is one of those cards that, as I said before, you kind of want one, just in case so you don't randomly lose. Justicar's Portal is not bad, but I think it's worse than the other ones. But I'm also kind of interested in just playing Cancel. I think I'm going to pick this. There's also a non-0% chance we end up going into the mill deck as well. I might take the Ill-Gotten Inheritance here. It seems like a reasonable card to splash if we find some Orzhov Guildgates. Humongulus is a card that I don't really like if you don't have exactly High Alert. I think we're going to go for the higher power pick.
Okay.
Sign of the Pit's meh. I thought this was an instant and it was a lot better, but it's a sorcery.
So you're going to run a little bit of black for the...
Maybe. We'll see what happens. We're going to take a second one. We probably won't play them both. Twilight Panther is not a great card if you don't have black, but it's pretty good if you do have black. It looks like we might be splashing black. Dead Revels is a card I think people undervalue. You get... For 4 mana, you get 2 creatures back from your graveyard. But then you can also play it for 2 if you get the good old spectacle.
How do you trigger spectacle?
That's if you deal damage to them during the turn.
Okay.
That's
actually not bad.
So we have the makings for a nice little Esper deck here. Normally here, I would probably... Oh, God. This is one of those packs that's always unfortunate to see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards I'd love to take out of this pack. Realistically, I think the Senate Griffin's probably the best card for our deck. But we also have this Orzhov Guildgate that we need to enable the Black Splash.
What's the Guildgate give you? Give you black?
White and black. Which is this is something we want 1 or 2 copies of to make this Black Splash work.
Yeah.
But the Skitter Eel is probably the objectively more powerful card. Same with the Senate Griffin, and we can always cut these black cards because they're not super powerful.
Okay.
But then we also have a Hallowed Fountain here, which in addition to helping fix our mana, is also a card that I might want to use in Constructed. I am going to take the card I think is the most powerful, which is the Senate Griffin. I know there will be people that disagree with me, but the thing is I can't tunnel vision on the Black Splash, and I don't want the card that's good and constructed. Here we got Chillbringer, which is the best blue common, so definitely snap that up.
Oh, I remember seeing that card used.
Yeah, it's super good. So here we got no black cards we want to play, no white cards we want to play. So it's between the Shimmer here and the Sphinx's Insight. Sphinx's Insight draws you 2 cards, but this lets you look at 4. I think we're going to take the Shimmer here. It's more efficient on your mana, and it helps you find what you want.
Instead of just drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, helping you find what you need.
Ooh, Gatebreaker Ram.
Oh, that's...
One of those times, like, I kind of want to try to commit to the... If I ever saw a Gatebreaker Ram in the first pack, I might have pivoted and just forced this, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So here we have nothing exciting in white or blue. I might just take the Gateway Plaza here. I don't know if we're going to need to play the black cards, but we might want to. We're going to take the Gateway Plaza to help enable our Black Splash. Swirling Torrent. That is a super unexciting card. Don't really want to play 2 Prying Eyes. Arcway Angel is interesting. 3/4 flyer for 6. Gain 2 life for each gate you control. Also gets a lot better when you're in this sort of greedy format, I guess we'd call it. We also got this Senate Guild Mage here, which helps us move through our deck faster. I think this is where we want to be. Gives us something to do with our mana every turn. Get rid of bad cards, draw good cards. See a Final Payment again. It's definitely a good card. How many removal spells do we have? This is kind of 1, 2, 3. This goes with our Black Splash, and I think this card is definitely strong enough to splash. I think we don't ever play 2 Ill-Gotten Inheritance. And I don't think we play Twilight Panther on the splash. But then there's also this Azorius Locket here that I think is a lot better than I give it credit for all the time.
What is it? What's the Locket's effect?
3 mana artifact, add a white or a blue, and then you can pay 4 mana to draw 2 cards.
Okay.
You also have to tap it, so you can't use it to pay for its own mana. It's kind of rough, but I would said it's nice in this kind of format. I think we're going to take it.
Yeah.
I think we need to not feel like we need to play black cards. Nothing exciting in this pack. There's an Orzhov Locket, which helps with the Black Splash. But I don't think we're going to splash black unless we see something bomby. Just take the reasonable trick. I got a text. Super unexciting pack. I'll take this card. It's a white card. It's not very strong, but it might make the cut. Oh, God.
I can guess who it's from?
No, you can't. We're going to take the Exposed to Daylight here. I think we're going to commit to not playing the Black Splash. Might change our mind later, but for now. I'm glad to pick up an Exposed to Daylight in an otherwise medium pack. Here we have a Wall of Lost Thoughts. I normally don't like this card. But if we can find some more Thought Collapses, there's like a real mill deck in this format. We're going to take this as just a maybe. There's nothing else good in that pack. This is a big dumb mana sink, which isn't too bad. 6/6 for 6. It has Defender, but then you adapt it for 8, put 3 counters on it, and then it doesn't have Defender. So it's just like It's a sink. I don't really want to play 2 Exposed to Daylight. I'm going to take the Growth Spiral for collection reasons.
Okay.
Ugh. This is a super unexciting pack. I don't want to play 2 Prying Eyes, but I might. Take the uncommon. Take the only card that's in the pack.
Which card do I pick? This card or the... Oh, that's the only card.
Yeah. There's a powerful black card that I've heard people say is like one of the best cards in the set. But it's also red, and we're not going to try to do that. I am probably higher on this good old flyer here than a lot of other people, but I'm definitely going to pick it because I like it. Hey, look. Oh, no, that's not the card I think it is.
Revival
Return target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Other half is double your life total. Target opponent loses half their life rounded up. That is interesting. But as I said, I don't think we want to go for the black splash. We'll just take the Bring to Trial. It's just fine. Are we short on playables? We are. We need at least one more playable card.
And playable, you mean by creature, or...?
No, just like another card that makes the deck. Like, none of these cards want to be in the deck. Okay. Like, the Twilight Panther is technically playable, but I don't want to. We might end up in the Black Splash yet. I should keep an eye out for... I'm going to take the Justicar's Portal. Can blow out removal spells on your opponent's side. That's definitely an Azorius Guildgate. So we've hit playable. But we have at least 1-2 cards that I don't really want to play. But it looks like our picks are drying up. We're going to take this Guildgate. We might do this.
Oh, just so we have the...
Just in case. There's nothing I really want in that pack. Oh, here we go. We found a good playable. Take the Admonition.
Yeah,
cut this Watchful Giant. There's our good old friend, the Resolute Watchdog. Which isn't bad.
Yeah, we didn't end up...
We don't have the High Alert for obvious reasons, but we're going to take it. We don't want to play 2 Prying Eyes. It might protect. Oh, there's a Persistent Petitioner again. We also don't want to play... Oh, God, we have way too many cards we don't want to play. This is scary. We're going to take another Dog. It's not good, but it's not bad. It might save a removal spell later on. I guess here we're going to take the Locket. I'm almost wondering if I should take the Guildgate. I just don't know if this card's powerful enough to splash.
Well, no. Why not wait until you're done picking cards?
Well, it's just I have a decision here. I can take the Locket that maybe gets in the deck right now, or the Guildgate. It's just, did I cut all the cards I don't want to play? Like, this is one of those pretty major decision points you have to think about.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I got down to 22 cards, and I'm happy to play all these cards. I don't want to play 2 Lockets, and there's nothing I feel the need to cut, so we're going to take the Guildgate, and we might do that. But I don't think we will. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to commit to not doing the Black Splash now. Take the Wilderness Reclamation for collection reasons.
Yeah.
Take the Growth Spiral for collection. We might see something that might randomly make the cut, but I don't think we will. Huge Munculus, but it doesn't make the cut. And another Dead Rebels. Alright. Wait, we're at 39 out of 40. Oh, it's auto-suggesting 17 lands, that's why. Which is surprising. I would have thought it would have... We're a little bit heavier on blue, so we'll throw an extra island in. Yeah. I think 18 lands is a good number in this format. I might be wrong, and it might even be 19. It could also be 17. I
think it's one of those things that kind of, it's not an easy answer. It depends on with what you're picking.
There is someone who writes articles. His name's Frank Karsten. A lot of Magic players know the name. He specializes in doing math. We're gonna keep this hand. This has a lot of good stuff in it. He specializes in doing all sorts of math calculations, and one thing he does is calculate what number of lands you need to hit a certain number by a certain turn. Okay. So there's a chance you could use that sort of formula to figure out the optimal number of lands so that you can always have 4 lands on turn 2. But anyways, we're going to play this Shimmer possibility. So, we can't look at our hand. what do we got? We have a Thought Collapse, which is fine. Chillbringer. So
One of the-
it's either a land. I think we take the land here. No, that seems wrong. We have the locket, so I'm gonna take the admonition.
I was gonna say, why not take the...
Well, the thing is, we want to make sure we get up to 5 lands so we can play Chillbringer, which is like one of the better cards in our deck. But we have the locket, which gives us a 5th mana as well. Turn 2 Shimmer. Now, here's a play that our opponent might have made wrong. I don't know if they just drew the Shimmer possibility this turn, but they played this shock land here. Breeding Pool. You can pay 2 life and have it come in untapped. And it's definitely correct for our opponent. Look, we drew a land, so we made the right choice. That's another reason not to take the land in that situation, because it means if we draw another land. But anyways, I'm rambling. Definitely keep Law Mage's Binding on top. But anyways, if our opponent deliberately saved 2 life so that they couldn't play this on turn 2, on turn 1, that is very, very wrong. Anyways, that's definitely worth killing. But I think what we might do, so we have 5 lands, we pay 3 to play this, and we have 2 more mana up. We want to pay blue, blue, white. Play Zorius Locket. So that's the whole, this is, as I was talking about before, you can choose what mana to play if you tap the lands before you play the Locket.
Yeah.
So as I said here, this gives us most flexibility. We could have just Law Mage's Binding this already. Wilderness Reclamation. So that's an interesting card here. It's not super scary, but our opponent also just falls super far behind if we just kill this now. So I'm going to take the big tempo advantage. Oh my god, he has another one.
Ooh.
There's definitely a world where we might not have wanted to counter that, but I think we're okay with doing that. Here we're going to play our Chillbringer out. Tap that thing down. It's definitely important to know the difference between when you need to go for value and go for tempo. Like, it's not always important to just remove the creature as soon as it comes onto the field. It could have been wrong to kill this Wilderness Reclamation, but I feel like this is also a really good sign, because our opponent's just not playing anything. So here we got a couple options. And I think we go full tempo here. We're gonna bounce the creature he played. Draw an extra card. Hit the land. So now we have the choice between, I think here we're gonna develop another Senate Griffin. So this thing can't block any of our creatures, which is really good. So it puts him in a really rough position. So we're threatening lethal next turn. And this Skitter Eel doesn't do anything to stop that. It can attack for 5, but we have a bunch of health. We have double removal spell if he tries to jam multiple things to block flyers. Oh, but he doesn't. So we're in really good position here. Oh, he can't even jump this now. So now he has literally nothing to prevent us from having lethal. We take 5 damage, because that doesn't win him the game. And this is why I love flyers. Always feels so good. Here we're going to actually play this Watchdog pre-combat. He could have exactly Titanic Brawl. He obviously doesn't, because he didn't play it there. But, you know, anything that forces him to commit his mana pre-combat is good for us.
Oh yeah.
We got there.
Starting off strong.
Mm-hmm. Actually, playing the dog was probably wrong. I guess it forced him to play the removal spell ahead of time. Hey, look, we got some cards in a pack. This is for getting 5 wins in a week, I think. Or 5 in a day and 5 in a week. That's what it'll be. Nothing I care about. The pack's nice. We'll open the packs later.
Yeah.
But the random cards generally aren't that good. There's so many cards that they can give you. Occasionally you get something you want to play. Oh, I like this hand. Doesn't have a second white source, but I don't think we need a second white source. We have anti-removal. We have tempo card.
And we have land.
And we have a 2-drop. Most importantly, we have the 2-drop, and then we have good old Senate Griffin. I love this card. I love this in a normal format. It's so much better when you play it on turn 2. Tap land. Our opponent's going 3 colors. We'll see if it's... do we want to land here? We don't really want Island. Island doesn't do much for us here, so we're going to put that away. We want Plains? No, maybe we don't. I don't know.
Plains are a guild gate.
Yeah. But the thing, like, we kind of want land because we have this big guy in our hand.
And we'd like to build up for it.
But this can let us draw more cards. I think where it's more correct to go... Oh. Oof. Our opponent missed. Only had 2 lands in his entire 9 start. I definitely want to play Skitteriel next turn, so...
Yeah.
We're just going to beat up our opponent. Oh! So now we see why our opponent's not playing anything. Our opponent decided to have a 50-card deck by look... No, 60. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, our opponent accidentally made a 60-card deck. I don't know if our opponent thought they had to have 60 cards, or if they just thought they should have more cards because it's a good idea, but it generally isn't. So our opponent has not drawn enough lands. They might have built their deck wrong in the regards to the split that they need, but either way, they're not doing much of anything right now. So we probably have lethal next turn. I'm going to play the Watchdog to block a removal spell. This also leaves up our Thought Collapse if they do manage to cast a spell. They have something here. I don't know what it is. But we'll see what happens. I feel bad for our opponent here. This is something a less experienced player can easily make a mistake in. Though realistically, one good thing about Arena is if you do know a little bit about how, it's not hard to build up your resources. So that, like, it's not like you've wasted a bunch of money to do a draft. Like, in real life, if you had to pay $15 into this draft and then lose horribly because you accidentally misbuilt your deck, it feels bad. So it's like a little bit of a barrier to entry to new players.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You're not going to get any better at it and you got to play hands and get better at it.
We're gonna make
even though I sucked at it at doing drafts, I still liked it because it was I learned better, and it wasn't always when you're playing against physical people. It was sometimes better of you can realize what they're taking, and you can kind of okay, there's nothing on here that helps me, but this can potentially dick over someone else.
You know, it's kind of funny. You're talking about hate drafting, and hate drafting is almost always incorrect.
Yeah, but
like in best of one, you're like in this particular situation. Hate drafting is wrong because you're never going to play the person that you're passing to, because I don't think you're passing to a real human.
Yeah, but I've had it where it's worked out in my favor.
This is a rough hand. We don't have a 4th land, but we're on the draw, so we have 2 shots to get another land. We might regret this. We do not regret this. Aha, always lucky.
That's good.
That's why we play our 18th land. But as to the point you were saying, the thing I like about the way this is set up is that it's not punishing for new players, so you don't feel like you've made a huge mistake by paying into this draft. Like, you still get the experience. We'll definitely keep Deputy Detentions. We miss on a land drop, but this is probably one of our better cards.
Yeah.
Our opponent goes for the very low tempo, draw 2 cards on their main phase. This card gains you 2 life if you play it on your main phase, but I still think it's worse than just playing it
later on.
Play it when you... Like, it's still an instant. And I think the gaining 2 life is negligible enough that I don't think it's ever correct to try to play it during your turn. Yeah. Opponent jams a good old Grasping Thrall. This is a card I like a lot. Deals 2 damage to your opponent and you gain 2 life when you play it, and it's just a 3/3 flyer. It's probably one of my favorite cards in the set. But fortunately for us, we have a bunch of high tempo blue and white spells. The other potential line I could have taken there instead of playing the Chillbringer was I could have removed. Oh, but I'm glad I did, because our opponent just played a bomb. This card's super good. Bomb Mythic.
Ooh.
We take 2 damage. So this thing's got a lot of text. So it's 4/3 for 4 with flying. Then you pay a white to give it vigilance, pay a black to give it a death touch, and then when it dies, you get 2 1/1 flyers.
Nice.
So we're super glad we didn't burn a removal spell, because now we're going to just Law Mage's Binding it.
Yeah.
And we beat in for 8 damage. So this represents our ability to get lethal next turn.
Yeah.
We have the Justicar's Portal up if our opponent tries to play like their own Chillbringer.
Yeah.
We can get super far ahead. They just jam a Sphinx's and say that's not going to help them at all.
Just to gain a life.
Yeah, they gain 2 life, but it's not super impactful. Like they're not going to win the game if they do that. They have a Twilight Panther, which doesn't do anything. Now, Justicar's Portal definitely gets a lot better when you're in a format when you have a good old Chillbringer in your deck. Because here now we can take 2.
Okay.
And now we can... Oh, I screwed up. I forgot. Justicar's Portal is pretty nice. So what it does, it removes your creature from play and then puts it right back in again. But that creature also gets first strike until end of turn. Which means I could have blocked his Death Touch guy, killed it, and still done this thing where I get to tap this guy again.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to punch in for 8 damage again. Boop, boop, boop. They gain that 2 life, which is a little bit annoying, but...
Yeah, they're delaying the inevitable.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's why I don't like trying to gain 2 life with this card. But it kept them alive. They would have died otherwise.
Yeah, they're
Hey,
hoping.
look. Oh, the feel-bads. They played the one card that actually helps them stay alive, but I had counter magic. Ooh! Thought Collapse coming in tight. The more I see this card, the Thought Collapse, the more I respect it.
Booyah, another reward.
Sphinx of New Prov. A card I would like to have in my deck right now, but that's not how draft works. So it seems like this deck's going a little bit better. I think I have a little bit better of a balance between creatures and...
Spells?
Yeah. Well, more so like spells, but more so interaction. Ooh, I wasn't looking. This seems like a completely reasonable hand. I love any hand that I can play Senate Griffin on turn 2. We also have our good old 2-drop in the form of Senate Guildmage. High tempo start. The only thing we need now is some removal. Just in case our opponent has something scary. Alright, Senate Griffin, what's on top of our deck? Exposed to Daylight. Oof. It's probably like the one card I don't want to see on top of my deck here. Because this is a card that if it has a target, I really, really want it. But if it doesn't have a target, it's completely blank. I think we have to assume our opponent's not going to have a target. Do you know what? We have... With the Looter on board, I'm a little bit more willing to hedge and have the card that just can blow our opponent out if they have something that does something with it. So, alright. Land. We're going to be a little bit different. Oh, I shouldn't have. Okay, we screwed up. Anyways. I was going to loot with the Guildmage here, but I don't really want to discard. Maybe I do. It's more important for me to play a card here than it is for me to... Didn't draw anything relevant. Draw a Watchdog, discard a Watchdog, play a Watchdog. But yeah, normally you can wait until your opponent's end step to do this, so you have a little bit more information. But here, I think it's just, I want to have something to do more proactively, like another Senate Griffin or something. Our opponent plays a Rampaging Rentorn. 4/4 with haste, that's probably not correct. So here we're actually going to go for the... Arrester's Zeal is one of those cards that it can be hard to find opportunities to make it good. But here we get to kill his 3/2 with it, so works for me. This card is something I like. I think it's always wrong to play it with haste, but it's what our opponent wanted to do. Oh, jam the Scuttlegator. Based off our fact that our opponents only played green mana, they might have actually drafted a mono-green deck. 28... Oh, nope, they found a red source. Either way, this looks like it's going to just stonewall all of his creatures. Unless he has a removal spell, and if he removes this, he's not dealing with the flyers. The flyer, or the card that gives me incremental advantage. He's got Rhythm of the Wild. All of his creatures get Riot, and his creature spells can't be countered. Normally that doesn't come up, but it might. But far more significantly, all of his creatures having Riot is really, really good.
Alright.
So we're going to beat up his face.
Is this still the same? Oh, no, you won that match.
Yeah. So I guess we're glad we kept this this Exposed to Daylight on the top, because just killing the Rhythm of the Wild should be pretty strong. We get to Scry. We see a Bring to Trial. We're going to leave that there.
Kind of handy.
Yeah. We're going to run out this land. Makes our Senate Guild Mage a lot worse, because now we can't really loot with it. But we want to turn on our Scuttlegator. So this can help us dig us out of a hole if the game goes a lot longer. And right now it looks like we're not really digging for anything, so this can help us kill something off. What's Brimaz over there have? Hopefully it's not a 3/4 with Vigilance that makes a 1/1 cat token every time it attacks or blocks.
That would be annoying.
There is actually a magic card called Brimaz, and that's what it does.
I believe you.
Ooh, our opponent's jamming stuff. So, Spellbreaker is a pretty interesting card. Probably comes down as a 4/4 here. So this has Hexproof during their turn, and it also gives the player Hexproof during their turn. This is a randomly relevant standard card, because one of the best answers to this sort of deck right now is an instant card that targets the player during that player's turn, and this shuts it down. Anyways, I'm not going to forget to gain 2 life here, because that would be bad. We're just going to Bring to Trial this guy, get him out of the way. So we're still in a good position here.
Nice.
We definitely win the race here. He's dead in 3 turns. The only thing we fear is if he plays like the Spider, that kind of stonewalls us, which is why we want to get to 8 lands to get the Scuttlegator online. Right now he can't really do much. Oh, that's pretty good. That kills our... he gets to remove the counter from this guy to kill our flyer. If he's smart, he'll do that immediately. He might wait. Looks like he's going to wait. I would do it right away, because you give me the opportunity. Oh, I have the dog. Haha! I forget about what my own cards do. So, that's where the dog comes in real handy, because now he can... Oh, also drew a Justicar's Portal. This is a pretty unexciting card here, but it does stop him from having a removal spell. So now we have protection against 2 removal spells instead of just 1. So we win most of the time here. The only card we fear is exactly the Spider that we saw last time. Can't remember the name of it.
3/5 with reach?
Yeah, that card kind of stonewalls us. But we have a loot here. So we can try to find something to interact. He's only got 2 cards. So, I feel pretty confident. Ooh, that's a big one.
Of course, that thing.
Yeah. So he's probably just going to play with haste and just try to kill me here. And he doesn't have enough damage, so we're not too scared. Like, we're still at 20. He dies to the flyer.
Yeah.
So he's just going to attack with everything. Or he'll just attack with a 6/6. I'm still going to block, because I don't know if there's anything weird. This 6/6 doesn't do much.
Yeah.
I highly doubt... Oh, he gives it Stony Strength. That does not help you. We win.
Ooh, you did 1 damage.
Yeah. Well, it means that his guy eats my guy, but he just dies to the flyer, and he can't kill it. Like, normally that'd be a pretty big blowout. I could have made it indestructible in response, but I just win now, so... Find that 8th land for the Scuttlegator that's now dead. But so is our opponent, so we don't really care. Oops, we sent in the Senate Guild Mage.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, it literally... Our opponent has no way of winning the game.
He's tapped out, has no cards.
He should try to kill the Senate Griffin, give me the opportunity to make the mistake. And that's definitely something that can happen. But I'm not going to forget here. Our Senate Griffin is now indestructible, and we win. But good on our opponent for not just conceding. And one thing that's very important when you're playing Magic is always give your opponent the opportunity to misplay. Because you would be amazed at the number of people, especially when it comes to weird race situations, where like some people are really bad at counting out whether or not they have lethal in 2 turns. So never assume you're dead. This is
Until they have a combo that makes infinite tokens that attack.
Yeah. Well, at that point they are killing you, so you're not conceding. Like they're not going to do their combo, make an infinite number of creatures, and then not attack. So this is a risky hand, but we're going to keep it. Once again, we're on the draw. We just need to hit 1 land to have a pretty reasonable hand. Oh, we hit a land. Even one that comes into play tapped. And then we play our 1-drop. Good draw, good draw. So we want to see approximately 2 more lands, and then probably no more lands for the rest of the game. Opponent doing the classic 3... Oh my god, Rhythm of the Wild. This is a scary card to see here. All of his creatures are now going to have Riot, so this might be a bit of an uphill battle. All we can hope is that we draw a land for our Chillbringer, and we can tempo him out with our spells. Alternatively, Scuttlegator should be bigger than most things he plays. Oh god. Second Rhythm of the Wild is pretty threatening here. So now all of his creatures... The good thing about Riot as an ability is that it stacks. So his creatures get to Riot twice. So basically, all of his creatures can come in with a +1/+1 counter and haste. Or they can all come down with 2 +1/+1 counters. But instead our opponent plays a Gruul Locket. That is good for us, because it means our opponent's going slow. Cult Guildmage. Tap. Target player discards a card. Only sorcery. 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Super unexciting card, except for the fact that it has Riot twice. It just gets to be a 4/4. I'd love to do something with my mana here, but unfortunately we don't get to. Why doesn't Chillbringer have haste? We draw our 6th land. We could play Chillbringer here and gain a little bit of tempo by tapping his guy down.
Why isn't Goblin Guide 0 mana? I wouldn't break that card at all.
No. But as I was saying before you rudely interrupted with a story about Goblin Guide, I'm going to use my mana efficiently and play the Scuttlegator. I could have played the Chillbringer and then had the mana out for the Resolute Watchdog, but I think this is better. It's pretty important to have this chunky blocker here that probably deals with most of what he could do. Like, most of his creatures are probably at most a 6/6. Our opponent is telling us he has a trick, so we're going to just take 4 damage. There's a world where he doesn't have the trick there, but there's no reason to risk it when we have 2 ways to prevent him from blowing us out with a trick. Oh, he goes for the Undercity Scavengers. Now the real question is he going to sack his other creature? Probably not. Alright. So here, we're just going to do nothing. Well, we're not going to do nothing. We're going to attack with our 2/4, and we're just going to hold up all our mana. We have multiple ways to deal with him having spells. And if he doesn't do anything exciting, we have the Prying Eyes to use our mana. So we're in pretty good position. He doesn't have a lot of cards. We have a bunch of cards. We have a bunch of ways to interact with him. He doesn't have a way to beat our flyer. This is a very good position for us to be in right now.
Well, you like to have it.
Yep. And, like, the thing is, he also is in a position where he can't do a lot. Alright, we go to blocks. We're going to block this. Let's see what he has. Most likely, it's, like, +3/+3. Oh, no, it's +4/+2. So, we have 2 choices as to what we can do here. So this is going to be a 9/7, which means we can just use our Resolute Watchdog and then trade the Watchdog for the... I think this is what we're going to do. We want to use our mana efficiently. We could also do the Arrester's Zeal here and then kill his guy as well. But I think it's more important for us to use our mana efficiently and play the Prying Eyes. Deals a little bit of damage to us, but that's not too scary. Once again, he's only got one card left. He can't use his Locket here because of the mana.
And his spell's only temporary, isn't it?
Yeah. So now, like, our 6/6 is still here. That still stonewalls his cards. So we want the land here. We definitely want Bring to Trial. We're going to get rid of Arrester's Zeal. Normally, I would keep the Exposed Daylight here, but he's got... Like, he can't use the Locket, and killing one Rhythm of the Wild isn't too important. So now we have options again.
That's good.
A lot of options.
Because we can do some stuff with Chillbringer.
Mm-hmm. I think what we'll do is we're going to play the Chillbringer. We're going to tap down his... No, we tap down the 5/5. We could tap the 4/4, but it's just going to use its ability. So I'd rather have his better creature not be able to attack next turn. Then we're also going to play the Watchdog. We'll hold up mana so we can do Justicar's Portal or Watchdog. Be nice to be able to do both, but... There's a world where I could have played the Chillbringer a lot earlier than this, but... It just... I feel like we're far enough ahead. Yep, we take one. That's fine. That I'd rather play it safe. But now we get to clock him a little bit faster here. Now he can pop this Locket. It might have been correct to kill the Locket last turn. Instead of discarding the... Just gives him less resources, but... Might have been incorrect to keep this Senate Guild Mage, because I don't think I'm going to have the opportunity to play it. Opponent's doing the same thing as before. This time he's just killing his creature, so he probably has damage. But once again, I can protect it with the Resolute Watchdog. Skewer the Critics. Actually, in this case, I can use the Justicar's Portal. So it removes my creature from play, it comes back. His spell is going to fizzle. Yeah, and then he's just dead. So as I said, it's nice to have a good mix of cards that interact with your opponent's spells, interact with your opponent's creatures, and creatures to beat them down with.
Oh yeah.
Up to 5 wins. This one's going much better.
We got a Raptor. We now just need Chris Pratt. Damn it.
I think this is one that Chris Pratt's already tamed and given. I think this is a gift from Chris Pratt giving us a tamed Raptor. I feel like that's what's going on. Because, like, we get to use it and it'll listen to us. This is an unexciting hand. It doesn't have anything that... This is a much better hand. We'll keep it. Spirit of the Spire is really nice. But, now here's the question. So we have 3 lands.
We kind of would want more, a 4th, wouldn't we?
Yeah. This is one... Like, this is a card that we really want. But I think what we want to do... Oh, but then... Like, it's a really awkward situation, because it's an awkward number of lands. I think we keep the Spirit on top. I have a plan. We're going to play Guildgate land. Play the Watchdog.
Is that why we have some?
Well, it's just more so... I want this card because it's one of our better cards.
Yeah.
And then we still get to do something on this turn by playing the Shimmer Impossibility. And then here we'll take the land. Be very sad that we have to send a Deputy Detention to the bottom, but... Take the white source, because we have another blue. And we'll say go. We might have been wrong, but... looks like we're playing the mirror match. Our opponent's got a Concordia Pegasus. That's not too scary here. Double Pegasus.
Double Pegasus. No, that's not as good as double Rainbow.
No. So, Spirit of the Spire doesn't really do anything. He can't do anything when we play it, but I think we're going to try to go for... We're going to try to go on the offensive here. This match doesn't look too good right now. Our opponent might... Like, any spell that our opponent has here is really good against the heal. We want to see a land here. That is not a land. I don't think there's anything particularly scary that he can have with 2 mana here. Whereas, like, it's a bad attack. So, he's just going to let that bounce off. So we have 2 options here. I think here we're going to play the Spirit of the Spire. Makes it a lot harder for him to attack into us. I don't like not having the Resolute Watchdog mana up, but white-blue doesn't have a ton of destroy things. The most notable one being the Bring to Trial, and I don't have anything with 4 power. We're going to assume our opponent is just trying to push in 2 damage here, not having a trick that'll kill the spirit. Just doesn't have anything. So we're gonna run out our land here. We're gonna get in there with the Skitteriel. I think here we're gonna see what our opponent does.
If we have to, we can adapt.
Well, he's gonna do nothing, but like the thing is, he might be waiting for me to adapt. I'm gonna go for it just because I have things to do with my mana. He has Summary Judgment. That'll deal 3 damage to it. I am going to give it Indestructible. See. I don't like that I just have this 1 mana floating here now. I could have done Justicar's Portal, but then I don't get the damage in.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that I don't have the ability to do the second. Like I don't have another protective spell. Like I can't do anything with this 1 mana. I have multiple 2 mana things that I can do, but
no.
We'll see what happens. We don't want to see him having another Summary Judgment. That would be bad. Because we're a little bit slow to rebuild, being only on 5 lands. The good thing is, like, a lot of his cards that he could have here that aren't removal spells aren't too scary, because the Spirit of the Spire is really good at defending a lot of flyers. A lot of the flyers in the format. What do you got, buddy? So we really want to see land here, so that way we can go land Skitter. Yeah, this is a card that seems good here, but it's just completely stonewalled by Spirit of the Spire. So I want to see land, because that lets me play the Skitteriel and leave up the Justicar's Portal. We do not. Instead we see Lawmage's Binding. So I think what we do here instead is we're going to beat in for 5. And then if he does something, we can Justicar's Portal. If he doesn't do anything, we'll play the Senate Guildmage. And then we have Lawmage's Binding and Justicar's Portal up. I'm not too scared of any creatures he attacks with, unless he plays something that can really gum up the ground and multi-block the Skitteriel. Pass. He's just doing the same, beating in for 2 damage. We'll keep blocking until he does something that I care about.
Yeah, reduce at least some of the damage.
Yeah, like right now, I outrace him by quite a big margin, especially with the Guildmage. Here, we're just going to use our mana efficiently and get rid of the Senate Griffin.
Yeah.
It's not a huge threat on the board,
but
he might be planning to do like a pump spell. But here he Thought Collapses, which is just completely fine. Because that means he's not Thought Collapsing something better. We're in much the same position we were last turn. We're still in a position where our Skitteriel is... Create 2 1/1 Thopters. This is the incorrect time for you to cast that card. That's a pretty strong card. I'm going to counter it. Mostly because he gains a bunch of life if that resolves. And then he also has enough creatures out to be able to block the Skitteriel. But what I mean is, he should have... Oh, I just had lethal there. I didn't even notice. I wasn't going to attack for lethal there. But...
Hey!
The thing is, if he had... he should have waited until I declared my attacks. And then play it. Because there's a phase... After I declare my attacks, he has the opportunity... After I've locked in my attacks to play his spell. Which means he wouldn't have died there. Because I wouldn't have attacked with everything.
Yeah.
Though I should have, because I had the counterspell up. Anyways. We make bad plays, but we get rewarded anyway.
Well, we just need 1 more win.
Yep. 4 lands. Skitteriel, Shieldbringer. This is a great hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't keep that hand, something's up.
Yeah. Play some lands, then play a Skitteriel, and then ride it to victory like we did last time. This is why I really like this color combination, because, like, all of these cards Like, I play the Skitter Eel and it's enough of a threat, and then I can just use these 4 other cards to just tempo him out. So, I'm very happy. Our opponent is playing Rakdos. We hope he doesn't have a way to kill this right now. There are a bunch of ways that he can, but I feel like if we untap with the Skitter Eel, we just win.
Yeah.
Looks like our opponent has a 1-mana spell. There's a couple of 1-mana instants. They don't do anything to the Skitter Eel. The card I'm more afraid of is there's a couple of ways to just deal 3 damage. Most notable one being Skewer the Critics. I don't know. Oh, no. Our opponent is instead going to deal 3 damage to us and have us discard 2 cards. This is not a good card. I think people overrate it.
Carnage.
So, it's a split card, so it might be harder to find the exact details. I don't remember what the first half does, but I think it's that 1-mana instant that he was representing last turn. I think, unfortunately, what we're going to... No, we want to keep the Chillbringer. I think we take out the Admonition and the Justicar's Portal. Because they're probably the least flexible cards that we have.
Yeah, the Chillbringers.
The Chillbringer is probably, like, is the card that we should probably discard because we can't cast it. But...
It's got more utility.
Yeah. It also represents the ability for us to get more power on the board. So I think it's correct to leave this up. We don't commit any mana. 2-1 with Vigilance and Afterlife 1, we don't care about that. We have the Thought Collapse. If he plays something more threatening, looks like he's not going to. So now we have the potential spooky part, where I'm going to adapt. And now I don't have mana up, so if he has a removal spell now, that's pretty scary. But... he had +3, -3. The exact worst card for him to have for us. Well, we're behind now. Well, we're not behind, but we're not ahead anymore. So we get slightly punished there. It's a rare. I don't mind not playing around it. I didn't think there was something you could play there that dealt 3 damage at instant speed, but he had it. It's one of those things where if I had been thinking about it, I would have played around it, because then, like, I don't lose with the 3/3 in play. Our opponent just tapped out for a big old 5. Grasping Thrall is a threat. Now we're running into a bad problem of not drawing lands, so we can't get our Chillbringer out. Syndicate Messenger, another card that I can just remove. Our opponent's low on resources, so I don't mind just using this Law Mage's Binding here. Normally I might not, because I want to play Chillbringer next turn. Maybe I don't. Yeah, I think I'm better off holding back on this. I'm definitely playing a lot better now than I normally do, because I'm actually thinking through my plays and explaining them, so I take a bit of extra time to... By discussing my plays, I think through them a little bit more, and I actually come to the better realization that I don't need to play this card here.
Yeah.
Our opponent's going into the tank. I don't know why. He might be thinking about whether or not he should attack with the Oligarch. I don't think he should. So when that dies, he'll get a 1/1 flyer, which looks good. But if he does that, then I will Law Mage Binding the 2/3, and then just really hope to draw the Chillbringer mana. But our opponent is tanking. I'm just disappointed in myself, because if I hadn't adapted the Skitter Eel, I'd win this game so hard. But shit happens. Sometimes our opponent just goes super into the tank, and we might win by him timing out, which would be fantastic.
Yeah.
He's used his timeout. So I think if the clock... No, I think if the clock runs down here, it just automatically passes to me. But I think if that happens too many times, it forces a concede. Anyways, it doesn't matter too much. Oh, no. He's passing to combat. Well, we didn't find the land, but we did find a Senate Griffin, which is also good. We want exactly land. Hey, look, it's exactly land. So we're in good shape now. So here, obviously, we're going to play the land, Chillbringer the 2/3 next turn, and then start pressuring him with the Senate Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
It means there's a good chance that this is going to get Law Mage's Binding now. But just because obviously we don't want it to block the Senate Griffin. Consign to the pit. There goes my Senate Griffin. But that's fine, because we have the Chillbringer now. So I feel decent about our position now.
Especially now that you can get this in.
Yeah. Probably should have tapped down the 2-1 instead, because this wasn't going to do anything. Then again, I guess I probably want it to not be able to block. But I might not be able to attack here. We'll see. Our opponent is officially out of resources. They have 1 card left, and it's an Arcway Angel. Opponent gets to gain a bunch of life, but aren't we happy we have this Law Mage's Binding now? Ooh, Sage's Roast Savant's a good draw here. Lets us find our 6th land. Yeah, I'm actually going to keep both those lands on top. It looks really bad, but it does let me... I think the way I'm going to win this game is by turning on this Scuttlegator. So...
You think that's going to be the
Oh,
game?
there's the Ill-Gotten Inheritance. Our opponent is afraid. No, he's not. So now we're in a really bad position. But we will jam our Scuttlegator. We'll attack. So now our opponent has quite an advantage on the clock. I actually think I need to not attack with the Chillbringer. Shoot. We're in bad shape here. It's a Grasping Thrall. That's also scary. Ooh, I think we lose this one, boys. And girls. And everyone in between. Damn you and making me have to be politically incorrect.
Sorry?
So we are very scared now. Because this 3-3 is a big threat. I think we just... No, we just lose to the Ill-Gotten Inheritance next turn anyway. Unless our opponent doesn't attack here.
Never know.
Well, I don't know why he's declaring it as an attacker and then not using it. We really needed to not have attacked last turn. That was a really bad misplay. I don't think we can possibly win. We draw a land. We go to 5. He blows it up. I have only 1 flying blocker. I can't remove anything with the Bring to Trial. No, we're just dead. Now we go into the hope our opponent makes a mistake line. Unfortunately, we made a mistake. No, I have to let that resolve. What do you got? Oh, he just has to consign to the pit. Well, doesn't matter. Oh, he's not playing the Ill-Gotten Inheritance this turn, though, so that's good. He gave us an opportunity, because if we can draw our enchantment removal spell, I think we still lose. We'll block here, because our guy's now indestructible. We'll block here to get that off the board. So otherwise we die. So we go to 1. The only problem is now he has a 1/1 flyer. But if we can not get there, because we can't draw the card. I just want to see if it's... No, drawing eyes would be nice, but... Hey look, there's a view battlefield button. I didn't know that was there. It's good to know for later. Darn. That's a rough loss.
Oh well. Who knows? Get better in this. Come on.
Here's hoping. Darn Ill-Gotten Inheritance doing work. Good hand. But yeah, I definitely feel like if he hadn't been able to kill the Skitter Eel there, I would have won. I need to hold the mana up. We may or may not do that again this game, but we'll see what happens. Oh, we don't have a second blue source. I forgot that Thought Collapse needs 2 blue. Doesn't matter because we're not playing it anytime soon. Because this is the time for the Skitter Eel.
Might as well go in for the 2 damage.
Of course. Never miss free damage.
Yeah.
So our opponent's playing a good old Gruul deck, which can be scary. There's the good old Frenzied Airings. Oh, he drew another blue source, which is nice. Yeah, we're just gonna bring to trial this guy. Oh, I should have talked to the Skitterial first. I'm dumb.
Oh, to have him.
He could, like, it's 3 free damage. Like, there's some amount of a chance that our opponent blocks. I don't think they would. In this world, I got the extra 2 damage in with the Senate Guild Mage, though, so maybe I'm still correct. Domri Chaosbringer. That is not a good card, my friend. Another Planeswalker, but once again, the biggest problem with this one is that it doesn't really protect itself. So he can -3. He gets to look at the top 5 and can put up to 2 creatures into his hand. But now he's not doing anything on the board. And I can very easily kill this. Like, 4 mana, draw 2 creatures isn't bad. But if he doesn't have any mana...
Like, right now,
like, he doesn't get to play them. I can get very far ahead. These are both...
Can he make mana? Because...
He could with the Domri ability, but he minused it instead.
Yeah, I know. I meant...
So...
Next turn, he can...
Yeah. But the thing is, like, he goes really low on tempo on this turn. So we have a lot of options here.
We could take out the Planeswalker.
I might not. Like, we don't want him to make a bunch of mana.
Yeah,
I gotta think, though, because I have 5, 7, 9. I don't have lethal.
No, but...
Like, the big question is whether or not I want to play the Thought Collapse, and I don't think I do. Yeah.
I'd get rid of the Planeswalker just in case.
We're gonna make the very odd attack it with both of them play.
In case he does something.
I don't think there's a 1-mana spell that could do anything. That might have been a very bad play, but I can't be certain.
Yeah, we got rid of the Planeswalker.
Well, more so the whole, should I have sent the Skitterial to the face? Should I have adapted it anyway while I had the time? It's hard to say. We'll see what he does here. Enraged Ceratok is not a particularly scary card. Because this is bigger than it when I adapt it. So I think I'm not going to Thought Collapse. Yeah, I think if I had put the 3 damage there, that would have been a lot better. And then he plays the Hybrid, which is also fine. So we're going to adapt here, because I don't think there's a 1-mana trick that can do anything. So we're going to land. We're going to Chillbringer the 2/2. No, we Chillbringer the 4/4. And we attack in with both. He might have a trick, but we also have a trick. He also really doesn't want to trade this 2/2 for my 2/2. So I think we just get 7 damage in here. Yep, we get 7 damage in. Could have done an extra 2, but I don't think it's going to be relevant. This might be useful to protect something later on. So our opponent could potentially have been 5 life lower, and I could have killed him if I had instead adapted and sent the Skitterial at his face. I think I played that too conservatively by sending both at Domri and not adapting. But that's what I get for losing my last game to just jamming the adapt when I think my opponent doesn't have anything. But what can you do? I think we win from here. I said that last game, though. But here, we're actually in very good position, because he's just got this 6/6 that can't really attack here. And he doesn't know I have this Arrester's Zeal. And the cool thing about this card, and why it's a lot better than a normal 1-mana +2/+2, is that if I cast it during my main phase, it gives my guy flying.
And he's tapped out, pretty much tapped out.
Yeah,
On that.
I also have the counterspell. But it's not like there's... Oh, he has a relevant spell. That's exciting. Make him cry. Oh god. So this is a potentially bad UI. Oh, okay, no, it's not bad. So, like, I could accidentally counter my own spell here, which would be really bad.
I count... Yeah. You think you're going to Titanic Brawl my spell? No, I counter my own spell, huh?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
So, we win here because we had counterspell. Cancel has been doing a lot better than I thought it would. I'm going to pick that card a lot more highly now. We don't really necessarily lose if he gets to resolve that, because we just kill him in 2 turns with a Chillbringer, but it's always nice to just win now. There we go. Ooh, we got 20 gems. Oh, so I got a reward for winning, I think that's 11, and I would have gotten a rare card. But since I already had 4 copies of that rare card it was going to give me, it gives me 20 gems instead.
Okay, that's...
We also got 7 wins. We get 950 gems, which is more than it costs to do a draft. Plus we get 2 more packs. Plus we got to keep all the cards we opened in the drafts. Let's open some packs, see what's in here.
Ooh, what's the little lotus thing?
This is the wild card, so I can turn this to any common card I want.
Oh, that's a neat little...
It's cool. The problem with the system that they have right now is I have no way to turn these commons that I'm never going to use into wild cards, which would be nice. Oh,
ooh, a rare wild.
Rare wild card's nice to see. That's pretty much exactly what you want to get out of packs is rare wild cards. I want uncommon wild cards as well right now, which I did get one because of... Yeah. Every pack you open, you get progress towards a rare and an uncommon.
Yeah.
So there's every 6 packs you open, you get an uncommon. Every 6 packs you open, you get a rare.
You're close to a...
Yeah, so I'll get... Ooh, Swings of Foresight. I like this card. I don't know if we'll see any constructive play, but I really like that card.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get another rare wild card at the end of this. Got an uncommon one there. That's nice.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's the card that I lost my other game to. Just for the punch in the face. And last but not least, we get a Mythic wild card. That is very nice. That's a pretty nice set of rewards for that drafting.
Yeah.
We could get more packs, but we don't want to. Gems are much better spent on events, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, like, I could do another greedy draft. I almost have enough to do a traditional draft here. Mm-hmm. It's not quite as... So it's twice as many gems to pay for it, but it's also about twice as much rewards. But then it's also best of 3. So it's quite a bit different. It's the better EV, the expected value, if you think you can get all 6 wins. But I really like this greedy draft, but it's going to be gone.
Yeah. So
I'll probably end up doing just Guilds of Ravnica draft after that.
Okay. Well, I think that's enough for today.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed our Magic experience, and I'll hope to bring you some more later on. Till next time,
check
us
out.
Have a wonderful week.
Yeah.
Oh, you have your advertising. I forgot about that.
Follow us on Twitter. We normally are better at planning on streaming. I try and tweet out ahead of time to schedule stuff, but this was kind of a last minute. Let's test everything.
Well, you could have tweeted before the stream.
True. I did actually.
Oh, okay.
Tweeted when we were setting up, but it's not. You want to give like an hour or 2 notice and stuff.
So next time we will try to give you more notice, and hopefully people will come back and enjoy some more Magic with me.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.